Hello everybody, the Red Pill has officially responded, but instead of actually engaging with any of our arguments, they decided to dress up as clan members, calling Preach a monkey, unironically and out of anger.
Looks like a monkey!
Preacher's over there looking like Magilla Gorilla and Donkey Kong having a baby.
They'll just say like, oh, you made monkey noises, you're a racist person.
Which, by the way, it was retard noises to be exact, because I was calling Preach a retarded window licker. But after looking at that Donkey Kong photo, I can conclude that he's also a monkey.
Even going so far as making known supremacist Nick Fuentes uncomfortable.
Okay, I don't know if you guys saw that that supremacist that was just on stream.
Yeah, I think I caught a little. That was a little hardcore. It was a little hardcore even for me.
Bro, you know it's bad when Nick, of all people, says that. Now, there are a lot of Fresh and Fit fans trying to play defense for them, saying that it's just a joke. And look, I'm all there for edgy jokes. Dress however you want, say whatever you want, as long as it's in the name of comedy, I'm there for it. But where I draw the line and think that it's no longer funny is when you actually believe those things. Sneaker retweeted an obviously fake satanic Bible. It looks like it was made out of Hobby Lobby materials. He said, "This is who owns the porn industry, controls the banks, runs the media, started transgenderism, created communism, profits off war. The most evil have all the power." Fresh and Fit have made comments showing that they believe in these conspiracies as well.
We're not gonna talk about the dreidel spinners?
Evil people are pretty much hacking. They're cheating their way to the top because the Christians aren't going to do a lot of that dirty stuff, right? So it's very simple how they went to the top. You know, they don't have Christ. That's a fast track to all the material wealth on earth, like the Bible says.
Damn. 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 Did you catch that? I sure did. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're feeling good. Because we're going to need a lot of lifted spirits today to overcome what I can only call a massive and concerning group of folks who seem to have a lot of sway. And I don't think any of us should care for that very much. Because, folks, the red pill, that community, it's more than just that. It spills into everything in its contradictory directions and behaviors. And worst off, its effect. Hey, Emily, what's happening? Welcome. I want to welcome you and anybody else watching right now. And I'd like to remind you all, you know what time it is. It's time to look up.
I do think a big part of it's also just straight up black magic.
Pearl did an entire podcast promoting these
Black
ideas
magic.
with Nick Fuentes. She then apologized for it.
I'm not trying to play the victim. Everything in this.
No, she would
that
never
has
play
happened
the
is my
victim.
fault.
But now I guess she's
Not-
taken back
not
that
Pearl.
apology.
First, she deleted
Can't
her apology.
imagine.
Now all
Pearl
she does is tweet and
playing,
comment how commentary
a
channels are
victim.
fake news, crying that she got heat for promoting these
Paula
ideas.
Gray,
These aren't
what's
jokes. These guys got
happening?
bullied for
Welcome,
3 months and
welcome.
held a clan meeting
So
and
glad you
protest.
could
So that's what I
join
want to
me.
do. I want to respond to this meeting and the long list of criticisms they have for people who made videos on them. And by
And I'm gonna let our the heavyweight of this community go at that to start with, by the way, folks. I'm gonna let Willie Mack start my show because really he is the dude who's done all the heavy lifting for everybody else. None of us, not a single one of us, would have the in-depth and distinctly synopsized versions of these stories. And I can tell you from my own point of view that when I need to gain a reference, maybe a clip or something that nobody else has, if I'm not going to my little secret sources, I'm looking at Willie Mack. And frankly, I'm always down to share him because people need to see this stuff. These are the influencing minds. Hey, what's happening, folks? I'm AronMSound. I want to welcome you all to the show known as Look Up, where I interject myself into a conversation that not a single solitary person ever seems to want me involved in. And most of the time, it's because I'm willing to take a conversation somewhere. Well, somewhere it's not normally going to go otherwise. And frankly, that's how it goes with us. Yeah, how is everybody doing today? Second Gekage! Hey, welcome back. It's been a minute. And that's for everybody, by the way. Happy Friday to everybody. I hope you brought your good spirits with you. We need our love energy in this game right now. We need our head focused. We need all of our heads focused individually, spreading out. Oh, even the tiny duck got knocked over. Goodness gracious. You probably can't see that in the side frame, but tiny duck. Yeah. Folks, racists. I mean, you've already seen a lot of the stuff going on where Fresh and Fit, they essentially capitulated to complete bigotry for all kinds of insane reasons. And I think we can't take that lightly. We shouldn't take that lightly. I think we should do something about it, frankly. But first, we should know that there's more to it than that. That there's these driving forces in the background. That there are these associations in the forefront. That there are people that we all know and have come to personally dislike for their disenfranchisement, for their willingness to take part in a reverse shuck and jive so that people will look down upon those who they make fun of, despite the fact they represent sloth, greed, avarice, gluttony. Oh yeah, Just Pearly Things pretty much represents everything that's terrible to me, in my opinion, in this editorialized program. And I say this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emily. Yes, if you're not already in the like and subscribe category, you know, oh, hey, so the new music, hopefully it, oh yeah, I kind of expected that we might run into this, but I have an answer either way, don't you worry. So the music, this is a new thing I was trying. It's probably gonna, yeah, too bad, folks. It was fun. It was fun. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can fade this out and restart that. Hold on a second. Yes. And this is the thing. I was about to surprise you all and show you how I had a brand new, I'd finally tied in one of my music systems as opposed to just the, oh yeah, just as easy as that. So I'll figure something out about this. If it goes down again, I have a backup. But yeah. Look, we got a real serious problem. And I think we all know what it is. I think we have folks that just simply want to take advantage of a situation that they otherwise wouldn't have access to. I think there's a couple of folks that might even be there in disingenuous fashions. And Willie Mack's going to tell you about this. But first, let me Inukcha on down. And of course, I'm going to hide my control. No, there they are. There they are. Let me just, I brought the Inukcha back. I've got another programming I got to add in, and then I'll actually be able to actually Inukcha. But now, for right now, the half semi-Inukcha will bring us around so I'm not in your way. Because, you know, Mama made a smart kid, but she didn't make a window pane. So, yeah. Let's take a look at this. What do you gotta say, Willie Mac? Anuksha! There it is. Anuksha. Anuksha? Was that what it was? Yeah, it was backwards. I was like tiny about it. All right. Paula Gray says Slim Jesus is a rebel without a clue. With the eyes rolled. Let me eye roll so hard with you that my head pops off, Paula. For real. And of course, you know what I have on tap. Yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of that today. The first half is we're just gonna review some stuff, and the second half we're gonna go deep in something that I keep finding more video from the same day. It is hard to understand how this happens. You hear that? Even in the echo. Okay, so apparently the audio is rocking. Thank you all for joining us. Once again, I'm AronMSound. If you're not familiar with the program, this is a show called Look Up, where I interject myself into a conversation that not a single person, generally not a sane person, asked me to be involved with. And so, by way of which, I then extend the conversation into a place that it probably wouldn't have gone otherwise, which is to see how freaking fascist in today's characters things can get. And I'm down here. By the way, I just Anuksha into the tiny bucks. Oh, Anuksha. I could go back, but we're gonna listen from Willie Mac, the heavy hitter and resource that most people go to, that I found, at least at the root of things, giving good information and doing the hard time. A former neckbeard, he even admits that, but what a great dude.
Criticisms, cope the whole time. In the combined 11 hours they are live, they don't make a single good point. They went completely mask off. In the 2.5-hour live stream, they really didn't make that many arguments. They mostly just called Preach a monkey.
Yo, Preach is like a, it looks like a monkey.
You should see him build momentum. What the?
So why am I focusing on Willie Mac today? Well, Willie Mac, by the way, folks, Emily says Pearl the human herpy. And the second half of Paula Gray's statement was, when her gangsta got too hot, she ran. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read this in its totality, and I can read it in front of me because I have it on the telly. Slim Jesus is a rebel without a clue. When her gangster got too hot, she ran home to mommy. Mwah, 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 mwah. And daddy, let's give you some sound effects with this. Hardcore. That's the truth. Emily, editorializing as usual, but with a quick quip and wit, says Pearl, the human herpy. And thank you for that. I appreciate your input, as always, Emily. And there's nothing wrong with giving a little, personal smackdown, because over here, body slams are welcome. And let's. Did I hold my wrong into a wrong? I'm sorry. What's his name again? That's Flipped. His name is Fripped. Alan Fripped. Crap. I'm sorry. What was that? I was having a. Hold on a second. I need to, just to clear my brain, I need to take a Bahamas moment. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Thanks. Sorry. Let's make sure everybody's still here with us. Oh, no, of course, I always lose somebody in the Bahama moment, or as soon as I say the red pill sucks. Why does it suck? Because these people don't care about you. They don't care about the information they give you. They don't care about their backgrounds. They don't care about whether or not maybe one of them might be involved in something called COINTELPRO. Just by his background alone, we can assume that there's something a little odd, much less the fact that his behavior is very odd. He's a hater of women. Hey, let me introduce him like he's a wrestler. Hold on a second. Hold on. I got an effect for this. Yeah, here we go. He's a hater of women. He comes in at a Slim Jim, 138 pounds after losing a lot of weight to extreme hatred. He's somewhere from the Sudan, though he used to carry a badge for the FBI. He calls himself a farmer, know-nothing, who sat on a couch and played video games who women wouldn't care about. His name is not Myron Gaines. Something Fuddle. All right, there we go. Is that good enough for him? Yeah, I think that he's in that category. All right, hopefully the chat is clearer or easier to read today. It is for me because I'm blind, as you well know. As you well know, I am. I've got that stat where like I'm like, yeah. What'd you say to me? I gotta turn up my eyes so I can hear you. Oh, at least that's what the kids keep telling me. Even though, in 20 years, they're going to be so upset with themselves. I know. I was not unlike them. So the new audio is kind of working. Okay, I can deal with this. Yeah. And let's give it a... All right. Before we even get into this. By the way, the call-in is open because if you want to talk about this, I'm more than welcome to share your thoughts on these folks who were just recently totally down to compare Preach from Alba and Preach. Ooh, at this point, I'm just Switzerland. Okay, call me Switzerland. I will talk shit about anybody because he's pretty much the only person I found in the entire affair that doesn't have some really nefarious, messed up background or some video that I haven't found with them hanging out with Nick Fuentes for fun. For fun. It's one thing when you get on a panel because you want to ask a couple of very serious questions. It's a whole different thing, when you're just hanging out playing video games with the dude. Because the dude is a white supremacist. Alright? I think we can all agree on those terms. I don't know how you feel about it, but let's see. I love playing Switzerland. Oh, well, I think it's important. And that's why I have developed a loop today. On actual, recording software as opposed to the iPad, where I normally, have to load things, and I've just been basically using the same music loops that I have had in there the whole time. So I thank you for your patience. Now I'm going to start building some stuff, and this is all live. Things I picked out of my loop chains and out of my sample collections. And so now I figure this is Friday the 13th style enough, right? Even though it's not Friday the 13th. You look like he's wearing the mask without it. Anyways. Now you know it's all live. Like to see one of these Hermans do that. And by Herman, oh, absolutely. Well, you probably actually want to get Kagi. I will give you a whole. Stay on to the second half. I would love that. It's peace. Oh, heading out for dinner. Oh, okay. Enjoy yourself. Have a great weekend and enjoy that. Hopefully, get something awesome and then have a couple of lovelies for me. Hang out for the first portion. You'll get as much as you need to know about this to be probably about as enraged as you didn't know you probably should be. Because number one, I think we're pretty all very aware that this man seems fairly repressed, but I think there's just so much more to the story, and I'm looking for that story, and I'm sorry, I'll get into this. I've already given you the Azure spheres, haven't I? They've just slightly plumped, right? Is that what's going on? Okay. As my, I don't know whether he's like Dionysian or if he's Pinhead. I don't know. Is that I can't. Yeah. And by the way, of course, anybody can always jump in, but okay, wait till you catch some of this because I haven't even shared. I'm just warming you up. I haven't even rapped for you yet. Because and who wanna be can't see my mind is free, lifting it up with it like 90 on his spine. Creeping in the windows of the dream sliding in like stealth. Can't you see what you want to see? Trying to stay loose with it. I've been trying to work my freeway style. It's not as good as his. You gotta actually fully relax to do it. and it's kind of fast. So it's cool. It's cool. Home of the awkward, by the way. Ever hear that justice is blind? Yes, thank goodness. Although justice ain't deaf. Sadly, justice is not deaf. So, yeah. That's. Hold on a second. Hold on. That's why I'm tiny. I'm doing the destiny down here. I'm just a tiny little voice in your ear. Like her in mine. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at fucking all. What I'm about to talk about is really serious. We're talking about the faces of early fascism. We're talking about the first steps into fascism, which is the allowance of simple mind control. And I'm not talking about the kind where I send you into self-hypnosis or where I bring a whole lot of secondary attributes to draw focus from the initial main messaging, which is just hitting your subconscious so that you'll be able to receive it in a more clear way so that later on in your day you'll just know all of this. No, this is not the same. This is a bombardment of the senses with a sense of hate, self-loathing, argumentation that doesn't make sense. And frankly, yes, indeed, and I understand that. That's why it has to be a cult. It doesn't make any sense. No, and I think that thankfully there's somebody here that can also speak on the subject later on who has their own points of view on it. So I find that interesting because I know that there's lots of different associations that don't know. And I actually have a video for that, but I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get to that because the other stuff is more important. Willie, finish it off. Come on. Come on. We got lots to watch. So, if you didn't know, this is the video where they were basically, by the way, they cut this.
Yo, Reach, I don't even believe in this theory, but you gotta evolve.
That's Circa.
You gotta evolve, bro.
Feels kind of racist when you do it to a guy you actually hate. It's literally just a circle jerk where they just huff one another's farts, but I'm gonna tear it apart nonetheless because I love picking on stupid people. Future Willie here. After finishing editing this video, I've realized I got a very little chance of this video being monetized, or if I am that lucky, staying monetized. That's why I'm launching WillieMacShop.com. Got 2 custom artwork t-shirts over there. I think they're pretty cool, so check them out if you got the time.
Yeah, do so, by the way, if you get a chance. Support Willie Mac.
Fresh and Fit's go-to argument whenever somebody makes a video on them is to say that they're taken out of context when they're not, or to just call the person woke. This allows them to dismiss entire arguments without
this
having
has
to
been
actually
basically
engage.
the whole right side is just mudslinging. Did you hear? By the way, I just turned off my monitoring as opposed to using my in-ears. So hopefully now it's not as like DJ broadcast. It's less DJ broadcast and more DJ than DJ broadcast. So they tie it all to the physical and end up hating instead of proving themselves. Yeah, it is exactly that. They make it about anything that can sell a fear point. Anything that might, in fact, point back to them as having less than earnest intentions for their audience. Or, oh, I'm sorry. Am I just smashing the camera? Yeah, that's what they are. That's what I think they are doing, actually, as I reach out to you. Sorry. Yes, it was all those things, all at once. The red pill and that community is taking a hammer, and they are hammering in, I believe, concepts that are about anything but the focus on them spreading hate and associating loosely with a gamer community that ties into children's games. Ergo, once you get their game, why not exploit it? Exactly. And the mirror is held up for them, hopefully, enough to where it's obvious. I mean, I think I've been pretty straightforward, actually, about the fact that I've taken so many elements as I possibly can from those things and technologies that I know, but also the things that they've utilized to groom. Yes. And I actually had a very interesting discussion, if you want to call it that. I trolled a gentleman yesterday because I've been taking part in a little moral play elsewhere. And I am acting as, let's call it the King of Fools. And I go in and I will look at you and I'll ask you a direct question. And it's funny because all these same people are the faceless, unknown affected, I would call them, by a sociological contagion. Nonetheless, I might even say, that is the allowance of spoon feeding others your shit. I often talk about this as being thrown, but no, this is spoon feeding of it and being cruel about it and thinking it's okay. And then when you get it turned around in the mirror, you get vicious, scared, and you start to defend yourself. And when the word groomer comes out, well, suddenly all these other concepts that they were flinging at others, they get very forgetful of that, and they start defending themselves about things you didn't ask them about. All you have to say is, well, you play video games, don't you? Aren't you 36? I mean, I guess it's okay, but I looked at your videos. And sir, you're playing video games like Roblox. Now, audience, if you're not familiar with the term, it's called being a lolly. And let me just say, Gekagi, you're on the point. They isolate children. So the answer is, master their game. Ta-da, fear nothing from words. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, much of their game is based around an ideology that is, as you will sense, built from teenage or adolescent, angry, repressive, unfettered, and untamed lack of social skill. How many adjectives can I add? Fuck, honestly, a whole lugubrious amount. Lugubriously. Like I just slather that shit in there. I'll just slather that shit, not to sound fancy, but because you can't leave out the fact that this is basically grooming to fascism. What is this? How does this groom to fascism? Well, there's a bunch of ways. I don't have time to deal with that. One of these days I'll have somebody I know come on and explain all the different variations. But that's not what this is about. That conversation is a different day, a different time. And I'm going to drop the bass for a second. And I think we can clear out the top end. Get to that. Bring it back. Okay. Yeah, the sliders are just... all right, that's fine. That's fine. I can live with that. Master the game and ta-da, fear nothing from the words. And you know, by the way, that is great advice in life. I always find it's better to get in to where you see the darkness and transform the doorways into hallways, access portals, places that everyone can see. It's helpful, folks. And look at his face. Come on. This lovely neckbeard right here. I'm calling him that because out of love, by the way. Not out of spite. Not out of spite. Because there's a picture of him with a full tilt neckbeard. And you just, God love him that he still has that he lost like 200 pounds or something. What a good dude.
With it. Abba got into beef with Fresh and Fit because they said he was blue pill. So he went on their show and asked why. Myron stuttered a bunch and looked stupid because he literally had no reason to believe that.
I felt like we were kind of blue pilled, right?
I don't remember. What show was this one?
I remember it very, very well because that episode I was very careful of what I said because in case you watch it, you think I might be blue pilled.
Well, from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would say.
So notice how it's always a binary concept with these people. There's never any room for anybody to have any ideology other than let's say, you're an authoritarian, or you're with the Matrix, or but the Matrix actually, in the end, becomes fascist really fucking quickly. Because ideologies that don't allow for anything other than a limited skew are, in their absolute root essence, fascist ways of thinking. And that presents itself later in authoritarianism. And authoritarianism doesn't always have to be fascist, but fascist almost always includes authoritarianism. And this is through an ideological set of practices. And frankly, I don't want to live in fucking Gilead. And that's what these people are. And I haven't even got into the train yet. I tell you, it sucks being smart because you can't look down on others anymore. No, well, we can't. We can't. In fact, that's the whole point of this show, is that I try to reach out with love. I try to reach out with sharing. I try to reach out and say, hey, you know what? There's more. There's not just the obelisk. I always say this at least once per show. And the obelisk, you want to know what this is? Just put it in your mind. This is, and let's talk about this. This is the metaphor that is physical in our reality. It exists in every single major city across the United States. It exists in every major country across the world, in every major city that is an ambassadorial city, or the central governmental city, or the wealthiest city. From New Zealand to Beijing to DC to Los Angeles. Around the world, my friends. The obelisk is a symbol of power. It's a symbol of power structure. And I can't be more dead serious when I say to you that it has existed since the beginning of humankind, and maybe a leftover of a prior pre-flood civilization. Indications show. And what does this show? This shows a funnel-like structure that is underneath a thing called the Ben. Now, the Ben is just a heavy, separate portion of the obelisk. It is a structure that sits atop the funnel, and everything in the funnel gets funneled up, information-wise, to the top, which is the period. And if the funnel is to crash down, the Ben still retains its shape, which is why the funnel must remove itself. The obelisk, my friend, it's everywhere. And that's why it's important for us to look the fuck up from what we're doing. Every day, all the time. Even when you walk on stage, you gotta look up above your head to make sure something doesn't fall down on top of you. And reach out to the people around you. Because not everybody's gonna see this coming above them. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you for dropping knowledge in the chat, by the way, Gekagi. Your name makes me giggle. See, these are the things, our sense of humor and humility that we lose when we become a fascist mind. When we give in to the prison cell, when we give in to the mental mindset that we are less than the being of sentience that we are. When we don't give credence to each other, when we don't reach each other with our hands and say, hey, there's a better fucking way. And by the way, before I go any further to this nonsense, I want to share with you one of the better ways and give a little advice to the men out there, any of you who are watching and lurking, because I know you are, and you tend to watch after the fact, like as if, there's not vidIQ and stuff. Because I want to know who's watching so I can focus the information. And by the way, even though the women by far outweigh the men in chat, I'm always shocked that the other side of this, that it's mostly men watching. Interesting. By the way,
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about 6 ways to improve your confidence.
this is great
around
information.
Women. We've
If
all
you're a
heard it
man
before. Women like confidence,
wants to meet
or
women,
confidence is sexy.
and you just want to
But you're
know
probably thinking, okay,
how to walk up to a
why,
woman
and how do I do that?
and
So in this
have a
video, I'm going to be
conversation.
covering
And
6
Courtney
tips
Ryan
that will help
is
you be more
incredibly
confident in
good,
yourself,
solid
and also your
information
interactions
from a
with
pretty
women.
darn
This is actually a
good-looking
question
lady.
that I get
And
from
if
a
you
lot of you guys.
can't
so I'm
take
really
that kind of
happy to be covering
conversation
it
about
today.
why some
Ultimately,
people
I
would
think
actually watch your
confidence with
channel
women stems
when they
from
don't
being
understand
confident
how
in
the
yourself
root of a lot
and
of
what
this
you bring
is
to the table,
being
what
taken
you
advantage
have
of.
to offer to the world. So let's get started. The first one here is proper body language. And I know when you hear that, you
see,
probably
I'm
think
slouching
body
already.
language is just a small little thing that
It's
nobody
little
notices.
things like she's talking
but
about.
nonverbal communication actually speaks
Exactly.
volumes.
And let me just
This
express
includes
this.
things like
You've seen me do it right here. You've seen me do it before. It's just about a matter of body language, my friends. Loving one another. But yeah, Shadow Master is gay. Shadow Master Gay is the English version of my username. It has many layers to it, like all, of course. And I wouldn't expect you to tumble through if you didn't have something that was wonderfully cascaded with obfuscation. And I say that with the highest honor and reverence. For you never know who you stand amongst in the fields. And don't get me speaking in metaphor. That's late night. That's late night chitter. Chatter and chitter. You know, I can't see the. Has anybody even popped into them? No. Okay, good. Oh wait, hold on a second. Somebody was welcome to the other chat room. Holy shite! Goodness gracious, I appreciate anybody who's there. By the way, we are broadcasting. Yeah, somebody was welcome to the chat room over in the other universe. By the way, 5 feet behind me and in front of me, we are multi-broadcasting over to the Twitch universe. And over there, if I didn't show you, by the way, as I extend us into almost completely, oh no, not there. No, I didn't want to go to Discordia. No. I wanted to go to the Twitch world. I want to go to the place where I can throw stickers and respond. Let me see. Hold on a second. Oh, yes. Or I can actually... Hold on a second. It's not fair. It's not fair because I'm doing it for myself. But it's not really fair if I'm doing it for myself, by the way. Where I do this. Where I'm... By the way, you can do this if you feel so inclined. No. But seriously, folks. There's lots of fun things you can do on the other channel. There's a call in here. There's a stream stickery. Let me see. Let me smack a sticker up if you so feel inclined to respond to things non-verbally. Are they hitting me? I don't know. Is it just the connection? Let me check it out. No, it looks like from my end it's okay, but I shouldn't be getting hit anymore. It could be that something is getting dragged. You never know. I am doing a lot right now. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, let me drag that. It might be the yeah, you never know. It could be that I just have a lot open and that I need to work on the CPU usage. My side looks okay, but you know, you never know on the other side. So I appreciate the input and thank you. So let's get at the story. And actually, let me put this in front of me so I can actually take a look. There we go. I don't need the chat anymore because, okay, there it is. Oh, no, yeah, check that out. Dragon a little, isn't it? Dragon. Not the kind of dragon that, like, protects the town either. Just dragon. I think, hold on a second. Got the docks out here so I can do that. All right, that should be better. Oh, good. Yes, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. That way I can, hopefully it's not just me using too much. It's probably when I opened up Twitch on top of YouTube, on top of Twitch, on top of YouTube, on top of Twitch, on top of YouTube. Anyhow. Yeah, that's probably what it was. So anyhow, this is a terrible shot of her. But hey, that's very real. That's very real.
Good
I'm sorry.
posture, making eye contact.
So why am I
with people
dropping
you're
good
speaking to.
information?
Women
Because
very
I am
specific.
trying to counter what I'm going to show you in some way, shape, or form. Because nobody likes a stinky room. And I would gather that she probably brings a pretty good vibe into the room. She seems pretty cool, actually. Although very, middle of the road. That's why I trust her information. And by the way, her information tends to be, I agree with it all. Frankly, I agree with it all. Because it's solid, it's simple. It's the kind of things that if you just have a little panache and you let yourself be more than less and trust in yourself, even if you've been in a basement for a while, trust me, you can get out of the light, vampires. You can get out of the light. Yeah.
Fidgeting, being really nervous and skittish looking. I think also putting your hands in your pockets, crossing your arms, really just recluse
and by the way,
body language. When
she's
you
talking
kind of
about
close
this
your body
when you
off,
shrink your
kind of
shoulders.
shrink yourself a little bit when you're feeling insecure.
Yeah.
It's
See, she said it right
your body's
after
way
me.
of protecting yourself and kind of shielding yourself from the fact that you don't feel.
Oh,
very
Gekage, that's my
so body
specialty,
language is
my
important
friend.
for confidence because it influences how people perceive you and also the way that you perceive yourself. Confident body language,
I
such
got your
as
back.
standing tall with your shoulders back. I know every single time I say that in the video, I sit up a little bit
I
straighter.
know, even
Let me know
her
if
telling
do
me,
that
so I'm
too.
sitting back, I
Also
push
making
back.
eye contact. This can make us feel more confident and appear
Absolutely.
more confident to
So,
others.
okay, why am I sharing this? I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I just wanted to, put some potpourri in the room. Why? I am just the least fair freeze framer. It's just, I don't even mean to do it sometimes. Little dance move. I don't even mean to do it. It just happens. What a lovely lady, by the way. She seems like a pretty cool head, and she seems like she's got great information. By seems, I found some stuff where it's like, I disagreed with her. Oh, look at that. The audio is, I bet you it is the new audio. I'm going to have to, I'll just fade her out here. And I've got another whole soundtrack queued up that I know is not an issue to drop. So it's not quite as dope. You might have heard it. But sorry. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm not sorry. I have a backup to a backup to a backup, folks. By the way, I appreciate every single one of you for being here in my heart. And that's why I'm an empathic human being. I like to share. I like to make sure that love is being spread. And although I may be smarmy, I may talk shit to people, I'm always trying to drive to a conversation of having a conversation. That's why I start with a little information, a little potpourri in the air, metaphorically, and then we can all get at it because, frankly, folks, this shit is real messed up. Really messed up. We're looking at the red pill community, what's left of it. And as we get to the second half, I'm going to go to the root of the red pill community, currently, the quote-unquote godfather, alongside our friend Pearly Things, alongside Nick Fuentes, alongside. I think we should all put these people to bed as far as what content they're allowed to, or how their content is allowed to be accessed. Because it seems like these people have free reign to influence minds. And there's this whole society, including, passport bros. That's all tied into this MGTOW. I haven't even covered MGTOW. Barely. There's 25 sects of MGTOW. How do you even begin that? I'm starting to look at edgelords and leading into the Destiny arc. And by the way, I don't want to send you elsewhere, but there's an amazing young lady on Wick TV right now, likely debating you know, I don't know what Destiny's position is, but likely debating with Destiny right now. So what's important about what I'm about to share? Well, because of course, my friends, when I take this young lady away, thank you for being here, by the way. What do we find? Oh, there's our friend. Oh, there's our friend. The, you know, civil rights is a thing because Michael Jackson was famous. All right. I got one even better for you. Why should we not take any of these people's advice? I think this is pretty simple right here.
Really makes you more heterosexual because honestly, dating women is gay. Having sex with women is gay. Never having a girlfriend, never having sex with a woman, really makes you more heterosexual because honestly, dating women is gay.
Okay.
Having sex with women is gay. Never having a girlfriend, never have.
Let's run that back.
The women is gay. Never having a girlfriend.
Okay, so let's pair that with somebody else and see what happens
really makes you more heterosexual.
And they see me talking with Rocker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis. That's where they're gonna start. Or are they going to start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Rocker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis. That's where they're going to start. Or are they going to start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Rocker to start learning about Israel,
the ass mouth
Israelis.
That was right, Emily. That was your
That's where they're going to start. Or are they going to start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Rocker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis. That's what.
And having sex with men is gay. And you know, it's all gay. And if you want to know the truth,
yes, Emily,
the only
the classic signs of fascism
heterosexual position is to be an asexual incel.
Myron, people will accept you. If you hate women so much, why not try and find a man that will love you?
Yep, let's
And then they go down the rabbit hole. Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Rocker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis. That's where they're going to start. Or are they going to start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Rocker
these things
to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis. That's where they're going to start. Or are they going to start with feminism?
Based, Pearl.
Your mom says hi, drinks.
Cheating their way to the top because the Christians aren't going to do a lot of that dirty stuff, right? So it's very simple how they went to the top. You know, they don't have Christ.
These are the viewpoints of the people at the heads
on earth, like the Bible
of the red pill community. And what do these guys all have in common?
It's also just straight up
that
black
dude.
magic.
They systematically
including Destiny,
pipeline trying to pull viewers down this rabbit hole.
We're not focusing on him today. I'm just making sure everybody remembers that that's a thing.
So they're not going to listen to your message if they think this stuff.
Oh, you want to hear it again?
If you figure out a way to simplify
Emily
your
asked,
message and get...
did he just say that dating women is gay?
If anything, it makes me less. If anything, it makes me not. Really being honest, never having a girlfriend, never having sex with a woman, really makes you more heterosexual. Because honestly,
never having sex with a woman makes you more heterosexual in his mind.
Having sex with women is gay.
Oh, by the way, most of them are straight LARPing. Hilarious. Yeah. Absolutely. That's the other portion of this that's very disturbing. Is that they're playing a game, and in Myron's case, he's playing a game that may actually be something
people will accept you. If you hate
women
so much, why not try
inappropriate to implant into the community? And that's something that I simply have a problem with.
On itself because they're becoming more unhinged by the day. They're gonna say why you ever apologize. What, you just wanted to get the heat off you? That's not very based, Pearl.
And where does Pearl come into this? Because we haven't even gotten to Pearl.
When I dove into the red pill space 2 months ago, I thought it was just about bad dating advice, but no, these people are all extremists, and I don't use that word lately. It's scary because these guys are all funny, they're charming, but they believe in this deranged shit.
If you think about it, the people
even worse, they don't believe in this shit. They believe in the almighty dollar. They're LARPing. That's my my sense of this as well. I agree with the second Kegage. By the way, there's yeah. There's a Japanese food. I'm a very big fan of, but I'm not gonna, it's, you know, Kegage. Anyways, not the same, but all right. Where do I even start with these folks? Because they are insidious. And let me turn the music off for a second. I want you to take a good look at these guys. Is this Curly? This is oh, hold on a second. Yeah, we got Curly, we got Mo, and we got Larry. I think everybody, or Larry, am I getting him confused? Who is the they're LARPing to kids and vulnerable, yeah, and vulnerable people, a bunch of hatred, yes. And they think it's funny because they think they're smarter than everybody else by taking advantage of them. And they're finding political and financial gain from this. Because essentially, at some point, these fools will be the, you know, the Tucker Carlsons, the uninformed talking heads at the bottom of your screen in a little box. And I think we need to be really fucking aware of that shit, because down the rabbit hole we will go into Orwell's worst nightmare. Not just Orwell's worst nightmare, both Orwell and Huxley, because both sides of the chain are represented. I haven't even started down that side of the chain, because I might even have some proof, a little evidence, that a certain person who thinks they're high and mighty, but they're really just an influencer of a subset of very concerning folks. That, well, I have some information that suggests that this person, oh, they're involved with really kind of heinous stuff. Yep, the paid message, they have backers. They need to stop being so afraid. Yeah, well, I agree with you, Gekage. Gekage, I'm sorry. Gay Cage. I agree with you 100%. We all need to stop being afraid of confronting these things. That's one of the things that has allowed it to be pervasive. People weren't paying attention. People weren't paying attention to their kids online and the language they were using and how pervasive it was, because they took it as, you know, youthful, not realizing that they would carry a lot of these things into their future. That these would be the behaviors freely by people by the name of Moon or Diesel or oh my God, the list goes on, or the Talking Angry Yoda. All of them in their 30s playing video games with little kids like lollies. What's a lolly? It's a whole world you don't want to know about that I'm finding out about inadvertently through all of my research and reading and watching. And you don't have to apologize. The mystic and the esoteric are welcome here. We are all represented. All of the beliefs. Anybody who wants to be here is here. And by the way, you know, as somebody who grew up around a lot of these differing beliefs and practices, I have always, I've expressed this before, researched and read, and have since come to the more scientific conclusion of involving quantum physics in my practices. And I actually will probably do a whole video on the goetic demons being a prior form of electronics, because boy, do they all look like electronic symbols to somebody who does printed circuit design, like my mother does, or my dad does. And when I showed them the images of the goetic demons, by the way, they both said, oh, what kind of, that looks like electronics. What is that? What kind of electronics is that? And, Libby, welcome, by the way, a rare sighting. Welcome. Everybody is welcome. And, practice what you will. In that world, you create what you are what you create, so to each their own. And, I'm one who tends to talk about happiness and love, so I might come from a different vein. But chaos, well, I think you must know. Chaos is somewhere on the scale, and it sure has helped me get to where I am today. So, that's not a bad thing. I just tend to represent the purple side. That side in between this red and blue binary bullshit, because binary bullshit is just what it is, a limited logic. And here we go into something a little bit deeper. By the way, I just want to remind you, after, you want to hear it again though? By the way, Libby just showed up. And this is important for her to hear, that if you didn't know this.
It makes me less. If anything, it makes me not really being honest. Never having a girlfriend, never having sex with a woman, really makes you more heterosexual. Because honestly,
apparently, in his mind,
having sex with women is gay. And having sex with men is gay. And it's all. And if you want to know
don't misunderstand. By the way,
really
one of the weirdest things about the goetic symbols.
Is to be an asexual insect.
Myron, people will accept you. If you hate women so much, why not try and find a man that will love you?
They're actually representative of. They're representative of both the angels and demons, and they're called daemons because that's the original name of angels. So don't misunderstand that one. Unless she's out already. Is Libby out? Hopefully not. Because this is a good one. I'm about to show you guys an unfitter conversation that mostly involves a lot of incredible racism, pearly things, Nick Fuentes, and these folks. So welcome in. I'm so glad you could be here. Feel free to lurk. But yes, some interesting weirdness about that, where I believe that all are welcome. All are should be. And yes, Nick needs to get laid. And when you say that, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I was going to drop this at the end as a little like, but instead of the that I was going to do to dude later. Let's just bring it up now because I think we all have seen this before.
But the thought of like me and my pet monkey. Yeah. And my wife taking care of us, and also I get to have sex with her. Yeah. Now that's a winner. Like that's a winner.
Apparently,
chicken dinner. It's like I get a caretaker.
Yeah, let's get the video up. I'm just leaving Willie up there because the face he's making.
I'll have sex with my wife, and then probably kids.
Occasionally, he'll have sex with his wife.
And then me and my sons and my monkey. We'll all be having the time of our lives. We're watching
good deal. Thank you, Libby. Thank you for being here.
And we're eating cheeseburgers, we're making milkshakes, we're making a mess in the kitchen. Oops, the monkey turned the blender on with the lid off. Ice cream everywhere, and the wife comes in.
Tying the four religions together, there's Zoroastrianism down to Islam. Yes, indeed.
Clean it up, bitch. No, that's a joke, of course, that's cruel, but we all.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't seem like a joke there, Nicky Boy's never been laid.
Around.
Yeah, Libby, I say pretty much wow to this white guy too.
Me and the kids and the
he does not represent. I think he represents lizards.
A sponge in the soap. He's washing.
They're called goipers, actually. His whole subsect is called goipers.
Like, hey, pal, this is all your fault. The monkey flings syrup at me. I'm like, hey, I fling ice cream at him.
Yeah,
it's
sounds
a
like
food
poop to
fight
me.
again.
Sounds
the
like
wife
monkey
comes
poop.
in. Hey.
Being flung at him.
I gotta
That's what he
say.
thinks. He's not sure though.
And then I riz her up, and then I have sex with her. No, that's a joke. Then I riz her up, then I throw her.
Wait! Is that the second time he just did that?
But that's now that's a nice life.
Oh, with the ass, Emily? Now that's a nice life.
Thanks for taking us in. I really appreciate it. But the thought of me and my pet monkey,
and his
my
pet
wife
monkey
taking care of us, and also I get to have sex with her.
And his
now,
wife,
that's a winner.
he also gets
that's
to have sex with his wife. I'm just taking apart the logic here.
It's like I get a caretaker, and I get a monkey.
So you get to wait, but no, it's not a wife anymore. It's a caretaker now. It's
and
a
then probably
caretaker.
kids later on, and then
They could have.
me.
Wait, who's
and
the
my
monkey? He's having
sons
kids with the monkey?
And my monkey. We'll all
Oh my
be having
God.
the time of our lives.
I think he's gonna have kids with the monkey.
Shark Week. And we're eating cheeseburgers, we're making milkshakes, we're making a mess in the kitchen. Oops.
He and the monkey are
turned the
making
blender
a mess
on
in
with
the
lid off.
kitchen. I
Ice cream
can't
everywhere.
make this
you know,
up.
and the wife comes in and she's like, "Boys, what are you up to?" And we're all like,
second gay
Clean
cage.
it up. Clean it up, bitch.
Nick is such a
No,
dumb
that's a
dumb
joke, of
because
course,
he,
that's cruel.
he thinks controlling your loved ones is power.
Like,
They
okay,
all
enough
do.
monkeying
They
around.
absolutely
We're
all
gonna
do.
clean
And
this
by the
up.
way,
You know,
let's
me
bring
and
it
the
back
kids
to
and the monkey, we're all scrubbing. The
let's
monkey
bring it
is
back
dipping a
to,
sponge in the soap. He's washing
that.
chocolate syrup off the walls.
actually, let's bring it all back to Fresh and Fit or Somehow Worse by Willie Mack Show.
I'm trying to think like which video.
Because he didn't know. It was the one.
I'm trying to remember.
I also find it funny that he came with the smoke.
Myron claims this is out of context.
Okay.
So now this is the full clip right here, guys.
Here we go.
What they chopped up and screwed for y'all, this is it for real.
You felt like we were kind of blue pilled, right?
I don't remember. What show was this one?
This was on. This was Rollo Donovan. We were all together. Donovan Sharp's live. They did a video about basically
Donovan
the red
Sharp,
pill-
huh?
And just so you guys know, back
Oh,
then at this
yeah.
point, we were
Oh,
doing
yeah,
2 to
Libby.
3 shows per day. I
It's
was
all
jumping on
tied
panels all the
together.
time. We
They're
were growing.
all
So
tied
I don't remember
together.
every single podcast that we're doing at this point.
We did a lot.
We did a lot, guys.
All that is
I'm
an
sure
excuse
you
for why you
did.
sounded like a retard. That's not proof that you were taken out of context. From what Myron shows, nothing was
But they
taken
are
out of
all
context.
tied
He literally
together.
plays the exact same
And
clip
this
and
is
then
just the
says
first
he needs
half
to
of the
take
show
it
where
out.
I'm giving
I
you
just want to
premise.
ask you about that. Why do you think I might be blue pilled?
Well,
I
from
have
what I remember,
uncut
I'm trying to remember. I would say
piece of
blue-
conversation that may
I'm
not
trying to
exist
think,
anywhere
like,
else
which
anymore.
video was?
It was the
I'm
one.
trying to remember.
There's one
'Cause, yo,
channel that I
legit,
get
we've
it
done
from.
so many
Yeah,
live
we've
streams.
done
I'm
a
trying to
lot.
remember which one this was and what I said exactly.
It was the one.
And I'll take an
Nick
L for my memory.
self-reporting
here.
on
I'm
being
literally
a
trying to remember
furry.
it, guys.
They then drop this point entirely. Because again, nothing was taken out of context. They just claim it is.
Well, as a bigger channel, more platform, obviously
That's the
more
sound of
eyes
Nick in
come
the
to you,
background,
right?
screaming.
And people are going to work harder to cancel you when you put out this. And then bam, I go into
Yeah,
a
no
bunch
shit.
of things which I won't bore y'all with now. But
No
once
shit,
I
they're gonna
actually
work hard to
understood it,
cancel you.
okay, that's your gripe. Let's talk. Okay, none of this. Oh, I don't know. No. I just didn't know what the fuck he was talking about until he clarified
Oh.
it. But they're not going to show y'all that.
That's what they do.
Did I just
That's
look
what
it
they
down?
do.
Edit and spin a narrative.
How are they taking this as a dub? They never answered the question, which was why is Abba blue-pilled? You just stuttered and then said it was because he had 1 million subs.
Why do you think I might be blue pilled?
Well, from what I remember,
Control and fear.
Well,
We were
as a
talking about
bigger
control and
channel,
fear.
more
And I've got
platform,
that in
obviously
here.
more eyes
I've
come
got
to
that
you.
in here.
That's not an
Control and
answer
fear.
to his
But
question.
first,
This whole
you
thing where
probably
they
want to
claim
know
they
why
took
they're
me out
so
of
terrible. You
context.
haven't
It's
seen
just a
Libby.
massive-
If you haven't seen this,
Isn't an argument. It's the equivalent when Hassan calls everyone a Nazi. It's just another cheap excuse to write people off because he can't actually disprove their point. They
Yep.
then try to high road us.
Everybody on our side, we are trying to improve. We are trying to get better. That's extremely important.
but what does that
It's
mean
extremely
to
important to
improve
listen to
you?
people who are
Does
trying to
it mean
motivate you or
becoming
trying to give you an ounce of
associated,
truth because you do
neo-Nazis and
emulate
white
who you watch.
nationalists?
All you guys do is shit on
Emulate
women.
who you
Also,
watch.
make sure who I'm with
Stop talking
can
for 2
satisfy
seconds.
me.
Oh,
Stop
power
talking.
over others is love?
Hey, listen.
None of you are married, but you all give marriage advice.
Respect. One of the mandatory ingredients for respect. You guys want to know what it is? Fear.
I've had this
Whether
up
it's
my
physical
ass
violence
all day. I
or
want you to
wrong.
sniff it.
But the point is that woman.
That's
needs to
what.
be
That's.
scared.
You can clip me on that one. That's I was making fun of him.
But hey, guys, it's everybody else who's negative,
did you
right?
happen to
Fresh and
miss
Fit gives me vague advice
the
of
Zeke
get
Kyle he
rich,
was
so
dropping
now
there?
they're a positive influence.
Did you happen
that's
to
all I
miss
gotta
the
do.
Zeke
I just
Kyle he
got a
was dropping
couple
there?
Mandatory ingredients
Oh,
for respect.
oh.
You guys want to know what it is?
Yeah,
Whether
Nazi
it's
salute.
physical
Is that what it
violence
is?
Or of loss.
You
But the point
motherfucker.
is that woman
Wow!
needs to be scared.
Wow!
harmful conspiracies. But hey, guys, it's everybody else who's negative, right? Fresh and Fit give the vague advice of get rich, so now they're a positive influence. Oh, that's all I gotta do? I just gotta tell.
Which, by the way, the whole point of Fresh and Fit is to sell a fallacy to a group of people that are looking for any kind of information they possibly can. And the important portion of all of this is that it's not the show. It's the surrounding social environment or the parasocial environment that is then infecting as a social contagion the entirety of the public, my friends. Because it starts from the kids. And they carry it with them as they grow up. And if you were an edgelord in 2008 to 2016, like a lot of these folks were listening to, My Morning Jacket, and before that it was, oh gosh, There's so many, but I'm everything from the Midwest, which was sad, and I'm so sorry. I'm so importantly sad, and I should just talk shit about everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and just bully you, and act like I'm not bullying, and then tell you that I'm being bullied. And these are the guys, and ladies, and lady guys, and guy gals, and gal guys, and people, and large, etc., 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 whatever you may be, that were affected by essentially having to create social life online as opposed to most of humanity for the majority of humanity's history. And so we are seeing the early effects of some of this, not directly and not because of just video gaming, but because of the environment of language that has developed in a single stream alongside everything that came before it. It is not unusual for these changes to happen. What is unusual here is there to be so much vitriol and anger and repression and bullying being part, and also sensitivity. Because normally in the past history, if there's been bullying, there's some lack of sensitivity where people, learn to skin their knees. But now there's a lot involved in it. There's a whole generation that grew up simultaneously with a different kind of attitude, a different kind of behavior, allowable on all SKUs, and we're including them in the environment, and that environment is changing the country. It's changing the world. Because, of course, if you talk about socio-economic and cultural impact, the United States, particularly North America, has a vast influence on the rest of the world. So if you're just going to act like this doesn't actually affect people, we can look at recent history in the United States where somebody picked up a gun after saying, you know what, Nick Fuentes and Pearly Things is right. I don't have to give a damn about life. And, there's this guy named Destiny, and he says that neither side matters, so fuck it all. Yeah, they didn't mention that in the recording, but I read it. It just happens to be that it was deleted before anybody could make it public. They got the other stuff. Lita Caproni, welcome! No, you're not late. You're not late. We're in the first half where I'm just setting premise. I think you've actually seen a lot of this, Lita, because I've given little breadcrumbs the past couple weeks, building up to this larger thing where I finally have a complete conversation that attaches to what we were looking at last Friday. It's the premise to the other conversation. And I'm so glad you could be here for this, because we can disseminate this and, let people know. Let people know. And yeah, and by the way, because she was late, let me go back one video. I'm sorry, just because I get such a kick out of sharing this. I really do. It's only 2 minutes long.
Time of our lives, we're watching Shark Week. But the thought
He's watching Shark Week.
Me and my pet monkey and my wife taking care of us, and also I get to have sex with her. Now that's
also,
a winner.
he gets to have sex with his wife.
Winner chicken dinner. It's like I get a caretaker. And I get a monkey.
Wait, his wife wait, okay, now I got it. Now I've got it. I've listened to this and seen this like 50 times now. Before and after they took it down, by the way. You want me to drop the beat, by the way? Let's drop this beat, because I think I've been hanging it out on you. His wife is his caretaker, folks. Oh, you're good. By the way, if you didn't know, folks, Lita Caproni, the official co-host, officially unofficial, always, you can show up whenever you want. You are one of the coolest people, so like, and by the way, you show up late, leave early. I mean, like, that's what cool people do. I don't know. Are you good? You good? Hope the kids are having a good summer. Yes, by the way, I hope your children are having a wonderful time. And I guess school is out now. That's pretty rad, by the way. I remember how excited I was when I was a kid. Like, school's out forever. Sorry, it took us all the way back there, and then I lost somebody just on that one statement alone. That's amazing. I'm looking forward to the day I don't notice that. Although I know that the message won't be as potent. Woo. Lito, we'll wait for you. Absolutely. Jacob gets out of school on the 16th and Elijah on the 22nd. I actually need to start setting the schedule around you guys. Speaking of which, Lita, thank you very much for sending me the invite. I have taken a ticket. I don't know if I'm gonna take part. I have to check out more of the videos. I'm definitely gonna be there. So I'll raise my hand and ask questions of things and stuff like that. Poke myself in. Talking about a debate on the 28th of July, by the way. Yeah. Let me pull this up. That's awesome, by the way. Thank you very much for sending me the invite to that. We got to get on this road here. We got to get on this road because we're almost hitting the second hour. And then I got to get into that information that I promised you. Wait for me. I'll be there. Hold on a second. Let me get back to the reverb. I'll be there. Oh. I'll be there. I had to leap there. There it is. Something like that. Sorry. I apologize for the first one. You can wipe that out of your memory. I really want you to trust me with your entertainment choices. Because, I share things like this.
And then probably kids later on. And then
Kids
me
we're still not sure whether it's the caretaker wife or the monkey.
We'll all be having the time of our lives.
It's the monkey, isn't it?
Shark Week.
It's the monkey.
And
they're watching Shark Week with the monkey.
Cheeseburgers, we're making milkshakes.
What does that really mean? They're making milkshakes with the monkey?
The monkey turned the blender on with the lid off. Ice cream everywhere. And the wife comes in and she's like, "Boys, what are you up to?" And we're all like, "Eat it up, bitch." No, that's a joke, of course. That's cool.
That's by the way a reference to later.
Cleaning it up. She's like, "Okay, enough monkeying around."
Because Pearl started this. She didn't really start it, but she brought him into that sphere and just acted like, I'm just naturally just bringing this guy who's a white nationalist into the sphere, and there's no connection accidentally. Oops, I revealed the keys to magic all over on accident. Don't think so many fools would misuse those pearls, by the way. Got fires to put out and show to get ready for. Peace and love, everyone. Hey, appreciate you, second. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being here. And by the way, the magic, we carry it on our backs, and we all have it as we spread it to the breeze, like the birds carry, and the bees carry the seeds and the, pollen to the breeze and bees, something like that. She falls in love with the monkey. In the background, I was listening to it. That's why I screwed that up, because I was too busy listening to him talking monkey talk. He loves the monkey. He's gonna fall in love with the monkey. The clip is forever funny because it's just insane. You as well, second. You as well, and I appreciate you once again for being here. It is so nice to see you. And I say, sir, ma'am, they, you, tumble on to where you will tumble to. May I see you the next time. Always amazing to have that person. By the way, formalities. I'm so stuck in formalities sometimes. I forget that it actually is inappropriate. Not always appropriate. So, let's, keep rolling down this road. Let me take a look here. Yeah, the clip is forever funny. They, them. Yes, and I apologize. I knew that, and, it's a bad tick that, once again, learning every day and need to practice. Practice in my head, clearing out the space. And that's what it is. It's making space, by the way, folks, if you didn't know. It's not just inclusion. It's making space in your own heart. It's making space in your own being. It's remembering that there's more than just two options. And that's a lot of the point of today, actually, that there's more to all this. The monkeys. And by the way, let's go back to the potpourri. Let's go back to the potpourri where we left off, because I think this is helpful.
Others. So yes, it's the way that other people perceive you.
Yes.
But also,
like if you want a monkey, you probably are going to be perceived as a nut job.
In your interaction
when you're talking about your wife that you're thinking about having, even though you're a virgin and you don't like women, and you're initially saying, well, hold on a second. I think we got to remember what he was initially saying here. If you missed it,
if you hate women so much, why not try
to project confidence and also feel more self-aware?
If anything, it makes me less. If anything, it makes me not. Really being honest, never having a girlfriend, never having sex with a woman, really makes you more heterosexual, because honestly...
Yep, that's not a cut. That is our man. Our man, standing way out in his own field.
Men is gay, and you know, it's all. And if you want to know the truth,
talking about heterosexual sex as if it's also gay, because any sex to him is gay.
Myron, people will accept you. If you hate women so much, why not try and find a man that will love you?
Yes, it is harder for us because we are directly out there to reach out to them and be there when they're having conversations that are essentially outside our purview. And that's part of the thing that happened in this last generation, most recent generations, is people were just not there in the room. Unfortunately,
because the Christians aren't going to do a lot of that dirty stuff,
to their children,
right? So it's
who are now adults.
Simple how they went to the top. You know, they don't have Christ. That's a fast track to all the material wealth on earth, like the Bible says.
I do think a big part of it's also just straight up black magic.
They systematically made a pipeline trying to pull viewers down this rabbit hole with them.
Most people think you are a literal...
He thinks it's all black
So
magic.
they're not going to listen to your message if they think this stuff. If you figure out a way to simplify your message and get a lot of the normies on board, utilize TikTok, YouTube Shorts, IG Reels, where the bots are...
And who is that?
Start. Are you gonna get the random TikToker to start learning about Israel, the dancing Israelis? That's where they're gonna start. Or are they gonna start with feminism and then they go down the rabbit hole? Then they click on my Rumble channel and they see me talking with Ryan Dawson. They see me speaking with you. They see me with the MAGA hat on talking about the election. They see me at Yay24. Are you gonna get them in talking about the Jews? Or are you gonna get them in
Lita,
on
he's
a panel
thinking
of
that
10
being
girls?
a virgin makes you heterosexual, and that as soon as you have sex, you're now gay.
Think about that. That's
his idea, but he wants to keep a monkey, and his wife is his caretaker, so he can make milkshakes with the monkey.
I think the red pill space is collapsing on itself because they're becoming
and
more
maybe have
unhinged
babies.
by the day.
And we aren't sure with who, because the reference just dropped in the middle.
Guys, they adopt a new conspiracy theory. I believe there's actually an interesting
that
conversation
audio
to be
is
had about how a space like that forms and becomes so popular. Maybe I could have that conversation with Destiny.
That audio is not happening.
Here's a person who does not have a single black or brown friend. You dumb cracker bitch.
Be sure to check out my other videos documenting the red pill.
Yeah, there's lots and lots of stuff documenting
this video is most definitely demonetized.
By the way, on his
Subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the homies over on Patreon.
And let me just bring that back and forth and see if I made that any better. No. It's a lot of. Oh, hey. I think I'm just maybe hitting it too hard. Yeah, I was hitting it too hard. You know how that goes. Sorry, that's terrible. That was a terrible double entendre, or was it? Awkward. I'm not even staring at the camera so I can make it. I'm making it look so I'm like looking at the corner of your ear. Like if I'm looking at you, I'm looking at the corner. I'm like, Now I'm looking at your forehead. And now I'm looking at the side of the other ear. It's the most obnoxious thing anybody ever does, by the way. Now I'm looking at your eyes. It's a big difference. Yeah, PETA! PETA! Yes. Yes. Somebody needs to call PETA. Yes. Because let's just hold on a second.
And I've actually done an entire video about body language and how it
Yes,
affects
she
your
has.
confidence, so I'll link that for you.
And if you look at the body language of that other dude...
My tip is to look the part. I know that sounds shallow, so stay with me.
No, it doesn't.
You really want to dress for success and show up for yourself.
Yes,
Look
you
good, feel
do.
good, you know all the sayings. They're all true. Looking the part will boost your confidence.
I think he's actually, like most of them, repressed gay and angry about it, frankly.
When you feel
and
like
he's LARPing on a bunch of subjects, so he's confused himself to the point of psychosis. I think he doesn't know what's real anymore. And he's making just enough money to get by, and he's being taken care of by certain people so that they're keeping him in this state of, I believe he's being kept in this state of perpetual mild insanity, where, you can't get your feet on the ground unless you know where the ground is, and if other people keep the ground out of sight,
I really do think it changes the way
you might
you yourself
go a little insane and do it on camera.
First impressions matter. I know a lot of you don't like to hear that,
but
I say it
you know,
with love.
I don't want to
When you meet someone for the
digress
first
too
time,
far.
They're gonna form an initial opinion on you based on your appearance, your behavior, your communication style. And now that things like like social media and dating apps are such a big part of our life,
Yes.
we really only have appearance to go off on there as well. So a little bit of effort does go a long way, and it's more important now than it ever used to be. There's much more to this than just the way you dress, though. Don't forget about your grooming habits. And while
Yeah,
we're on
grooming
the
is
topic,
very
big thanks
important,
to
by the way.
Family for sponsoring today's
Kids
video.
at
I also
home,
don't think some of
take
you
care of
believe me when
yourself.
I
Make
tell
yourself
how
look
much
good. If you aren't
implementing
proud of
a
yourself when you walk
quality
out your door,
skincare routine
you shouldn't be
will
going on a
improve your
date because you're
confidence in
representing
every
yourself to
aspect
somebody
of your
else,
life.
right?
Especially
Take
dating.
care of yourself.
Teach
Why am
Hannah
I
makes
sharing the
taking care of your
potpourri?
skin uncomplicated.
Oh, hey, don't show a commercial. Don't show a commercial. Why everybody was down with that Tish Hanley for a hot second. Let's go back to Nick talking about monkeys.
Time of our lives. We're
Having the
watching
time of his
Shark
life
Week,
with a monkey.
and we're eating cheeseburgers. We're
He's
making
eating cheeseburger with the
milkshakes, we're making
monkey.
a mess in the kitchen.
PETA! Wait, hold on a
The
second.
monkey turned the blender on with the lid off. Ice cream everywhere. You know, and the wife comes in and she's
All right.
like, "Boys, what are you up to?" And we're all
Boys.
like,
Boys.
Clean it up. Clean it up, bitch. No, that's a joke. Of course, that's cruel. But you know,
I don't think it is. You don't think it's a joke. I don't. Oh, by the way, your cam looks great. Thank you. I said that on Tuesday on Mike's channel because I was watching the stream. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for saying that because I work very hard to try to keep these things getting better and you know, adding more and more. And by the way, I am now using my music studio as opposed to just iPad and playback from the studio. I'm now in the studio picking samples out of my files and such.
How many times do I gotta say?
So let me drop the bass.
Have sex with her. No, that's a joke. Then I riz her up. Then I throw her on the. Joking, of course. But that's like.
And by the way, the
now
theme
that's
today
a
is
nice life.
Friday the 13th style music because it's a horror show. Yeah, it is. Today is a horror show, and I'm just warming you up with the silly because it's about to get really dark.
Where can my monkey sleep?
Where can his monkey sleep? Say, where can his monkey sleep? By the way, I just wanted to let you know that today we have an interjection in this video. Before I move on.
Oh, that's interesting. No, because I don't know.
This
you
is what
sound
Pearly
older,
Things
like,
dropped today
you
on her
look
channel.
younger, but you sound older. And
So I wonder
maybe
what
it's
Melanie did to earn
Maybe
this.
go to the embassy and do something. You know that's a scam.
Well,
Even though we know what Melanie did to earn this, do you think that Pearly Things is trying to get ahead of the story she knows is coming?
Americans, what do you guys think of them?
Because this is a very unflattering little bit of interaction.
Some of the smartest and
In fact, it seems like an intimation because why would it come out now, so long later? Exactly, He-Man, woman haters. Oh, but you haven't even seen the beginning. It's less about woman hating, more about LARPing, which is live action role play of actual human haters, people that just hate humans.
It's interesting. I like to perform.
It's beyond xenophobia.
Is that what you do? Like, is that like your thing?
No, I'm in tech.
You're in tech. Okay, what kind of tech?
Data engineering.
Data engineering. How'd you get into that?
I was. It's a long story actually. I was a two.
What is this? This is what Pearly Things dropped today, by the way. If you didn't know, this is a little bit of Pearly just after the fact, like, I don't have anything else to put on my channel. I'm moving into my parents' house, so I don't have content anymore, and I don't know these people anymore because they won't talk to me because I had a white nationalist on.
I'm like
you
a
know.
free spirit. So like you're like the opposite spectrum, like literally math.
Pearl
like,
watches Mike, so she probably dropped this because of that. Exactly.
Like in a restaurant.
Exactly.
And you're like over there,
Thank
you
you
like
for knowing.
physics
And
or something like that?
at least the
like,
He-Man
I'm like
woman
dumb
haters were
compared
cute.
to that.
I did see you do some.
She is. By the way, do you notice
I
which way they
tried,
have
but
the
it's like
camera
slow math,
angled?
Like I have to like use my
Like
fingers. I'm
normally a woman, you don't.
Like,
You
did you
let,
go to school
the
for it?
producer
I
or
mean, of
director
course
will
you
say,
had
"Hey,
to.
excuse me,
Okay,
you are
like,
showing open
you have
dress
to get,
to
like,
the
a
camera,"
master's degree for that. Like, again,
which they keep
talking
flashing,
about
by the way, in these shots.
did a
It's one of those like, oh damn, they're really putting her on. They're really putting her on blast. You know, there's more than one shot, so it was edited that way.
28.
28. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. No, because I don't know. You sound.
Why did
older.
they
Like,
hook
you look
her up
younger,
on
but
a
you sound
dating
older, and maybe
interaction
it's just 'cause of what you do.
with a 28-year-old?
And math and physics. What got you interested in that? Were you always good
Was
at
that
it?
to show that she wouldn't be interested, or that she would be?
Basically.
Was it a blackmail
Would they call
of
it a report
sorts?
card here?
I mean, like seriously, this looks like
in school, when
something
you get
very
your grades, you call
odd
it a
to me.
report
It
card.
doesn't look like
You
just
just
when you take it apart.
You just get your
It's
grades.
not
Do
like
they
your
do it,
normal
like,
interaction
quarterly,
between
like they do in the US, or like every
a host
semester? How does it work? I don't know.
and a
don't know,
guest,
like, in
or
university
no,
it was
this
like
is
a
a dating
semester.
show. Like she's trying to do the
You
grill,
were a
the
teacher, you
griller,
don't know.
the grilling.
You had to get grades.
I trained at King's College for teaching, so I was doing that for like 6 to 8 months.
So you actually taught at like college? Is college the same as university here?
Because this is a very natural conversation.
College
This
considered
isn't
high school here.
There's university.
Yeah, this isn't a Q&A. It is. It's
what is
very
high school?
random.
What's
It
the
doesn't
age
fit the rest of the structure of her show. Now, if I put it on, you'd be like, oh,
11,
he's sharing
18.
something with us.
Okay,
It's
so then you
premise.
go to
It's
college
preface.
after
It's, you know, maybe
Yeah,
it's
then
look up.
university.
Wait, which one's college?
You know,
College is
non-remix.
university, right?
It's the same thing, university and college.
But this
Yeah. So
just kind of makes her look not very bright.
So long, you're 28. You would think that you're like 108. You're
I've
talking
done a
about
lot.
She's trying to hype
You've
him
done a
for
lot.
his
I think you've done a lot
age.
too.
I have done a lot. I've lived
She
a life.
has done a lot, huh?
You're saying you traveled around
I feel
Italy.
bad. No, I don't.
did.
Not
And I
after
didn't think
you.
I would
Once
like
you
it
know what's
because
going on
I
there.
like the Amalfi Coast.
We
I know
haven't
that
even
sounds
gotten to
fucked up,
that
but,
whole
like, I
thing.
literally never thought about it, but it
That
was
whole
Sorrento.
thing,
It's probably
by
my
the way.
favorite place on earth right now.
Woo! That's a mess.
No. I've never been to Italy.
And Mike is
It
much
is
more suited
gorgeous.
to that
Like,
because
I
he's
think
got them
is the prettiest
telling
place ever.
everything.
Like I went to Greece. I thought I would like Greece more, like Mykonos.
Pearly
and all
Things
of
is
that, but I
mad
didn't. It was
because she
Italy was
knows that
definitely where it was.
it's just going to drag
It was
her.
good. Everything was good. The people.
She's just
were
got to
nice.
get ahead of it, I guess. Because
Like
what she
the
doesn't want you to
Italian people,
see,
Italian culture. Yeah.
my friends, are you ready for this?
They're not as spirited as
Let me add another.
black people back home.
Drumbeat.
That's what they call spirit. We're spirited back home. So, me Americans. What do you guys think of Americans? It's a love-hate relationship. I feel.
You have some of the.
You ready for this,
smartest
though?
and
For real?
dumbest people as well. That's what I
agree.
think.
I agree. Okay. Why do you say the dumbest though?
It seems to be like a lot of a bit of a a culture of degeneracy in some parts, in some kind of perspectives, but also you've got Steve Jobs. All these
So now we're
massive
running.
people who are just really pushing the frontiers and so on.
Yeah, she's not very
It's
bright.
like both, right?
On any
Like you
level,
guys are-
on any scale,
everywhere.
and
In UK, you're
but
telling me
she's
it's not some of
doing
the
a bunch of
smartest and
underhanded
dumbest
stuff.
people you've ever come
Yeah, but it's a bit more balanced here. Like I think, it's a bit
Yeah.
more. I think in America it gets extreme.
I don't even know
I've
where
seen
to start with her.
Just
So I
you
leave her
Give
around.
me an extreme. Give me an extreme.
But folks,
I've seen some stuff online of the way people. I meet a lot of Americans.
why am I
traveling,
tying this all in? Because this is Pearly Things. Although she's not in frame, she doesn't even introduce it. She's not announcing it. She's just brought it up on her channel.
Maybe then from the north.
And Pearly, well, she wants you to not
They're either,
see
like, really
this
quiet,
that I'm about to share.
or they're just like,
Turn
yeah,
up.
bro, let's go to the strip club. Let's do this. Yeah, oh, bro, I just got robbed, bro. I swear I'll pay you back. I mean,
And folks, I'm gonna play this whole thing.
Well, I'm saying that different people have a way of defining it, but I don't
before we
think
go
it's
in,
subjective.
I don't know some of these figures, but up over there, and let me come up for a second. Come up for air, because I'm down in the box of despair. I'm down in the box of despair down here. Despair. No, not really. Let me get up in here, folks. Rollo Tomasi. That's the grandfather of the red pill. Pearly Things. Pearly Swings. Sweaty Things. Racist Things. And oh, surprise, she's on a panel with her compadre, Nick Fuentes. And yes, there's some other folks on this panel. But I think we'll find out what their points of view actually are. And thank you all for joining me, because this is the important half of the show when it comes to sharing information. This is going to be uncut. This is going to be direct. And it's a preface to a whole day of interviews that I think we all saw some of, but didn't see the rest of. And we should watch as our favorite girl does her bit, right? We should find out more about her because she's our favorite girl. Oh, Emily. If you're lost, Rollo Tomasi. Well, that's where Fresh and Fit gets its logic. That's where the red pill extends from. And this is a random panel from powerchat.live/big tech. And these are where these things get, hidden. In conversations outside our purview that we aren't aware of. Which is why I'm bringing it to you here. Because I found this on a very special channel where I get very special information. So this may be gone soon. So I'm going to put myself down in the Nuckshaw. I forgot to Nuckshaw back up, by the way. So when I go back down, you can say it with me. It's better magic that way. Nuckshaw! There I am. So now you can see it all. And it's more uncut. You can share it if you like. You can clip it if you like, because you might want to. Ready? What's important about this is the connection to the red pill, to white nationalism, to hatred, to supremacy, to a sickness and amorality that doesn't care about the message. It cares about your pain and how much money can be made off of it.
How is it not? If you said there's different people could view as high value man.
No, I'm saying different people have.
Wait,
their
what does
own
it stand for
interpretation.
again? What does Malcolm stand for again?
A mildly attractive, lucrative, communicative, operational, likable man.
Gotta write that down.
Mildly
okay, wait. So I do. Would you? Okay, wait. Let me. Do you guys agree that Kevin Samuels coined that term?
No.
Did he?
Yeah, I mean.
Would you?
I mean,
because I have written down what he said was. If we agree that he coined that term, if you don't think he did, then you're reading this as pointless.
Malcolm or high value man?
High value man.
High value man is what you're talking about.
I think he helped put parameters on it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he popularized it, but he can't define it. He can't define it because all those words already existed.
And that's why Rollo's not speaking, because it's not his topic.
The question.
No, still read it though, please.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I have
this is
mentioned
just
on
what he
another
said,
show.
Kev.
But
Because
this
that
is-
was the first time I heard that term was on Kevin Samuels.
provenance.
Was it around before then? It's very possible. I don't know.
Background.
But that's just where I heard it
Proof.
first. So he said it's
By the
10K
way,
per
look
month
over in
and
the
you must
corner
have
and
had
you'll
that
notice
for 3 to
the
5
chat.
years. Other men must accept you as high value. You have
Rolling.
to have a network of high value men. You have to have a LinkedIn visibility level, and you have to be useful to others in the group.
What does that mean?
Subjective, but that's cool, but it's still subjective. Like how
I mean,
high value man is already.
You can't be
it's already
broke. You can't be broke and be a high value man. Let's just keep it above.
I agree with that. So that could be something objective. Like you have to be
Yeah, because to
successful
them,
in some
it's
form
about,
financially to be a high value man. That's something I
wealth.
think we can all agree on.
Right.
But
money.
everything.
I won't agree on that.
Power.
Actually, I think there's some very high.
And not about you.
Dirt-ass poor.
It's bad
I agree with
advice.
Rollo on that too.
It has nothing to do with
You know
you.
what? You know what, Rolo?
Okay.
Possibly.
Rollo, since you
Was Mahatma Gandhi a high value man? Was Martin Luther King Jr. a
Oh,
high
so this
value
guy
man?
agrees with him.
No.
According to the criteria of the 21st
They
century, the
giggle.
answer would be no. Did they make an impact on the
Gandhi-
Two of the greatest minds of the 20th century. Two of the greatest humans. Fallible both. Faulty, yeah. But did they make an effect on the planet beyond anything that anybody on this panel will ever do? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, high value? Yeah, to humanity. Because they want to remove, this is the proof they want to remove that. That they don't care about it because they're nihilists. They care about the almighty bag, the almighty dollar. Let's keep rolling. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Suck. That's such a Gen X. That's such a Gen X. Like, what about Gandhi and? What
Yes,
about
exactly.
Obama?
Let me talk.
What about
Let me
Kurt
talk about
Cobain?
that for a second. Lita Caproni, Kevin almost meant wealth as well, sprinkled with a bit of delusion. Yeah, and that's part of the thing that I think a lot of people don't get, because he knew that about himself. But I got to also mention, Kevin also talked about only dating prostitutes because it was, or call girls, fancy call girls, because it was easier. And part of the reason that the poor man, well, passed away was because he, spent his last night partying with a call girl. And yeah, we can get into that another time. It's a really sad situation I think we all know about. I mean, they say it was a heart attack, but we can assume what was going on. And by assume, I mean we would have to allege. Also, yeah, Kevin also meant wealth as well as sprinkled with a bit of delusion. Yes, indeed. At least his message was earnest in a certain way. And he was fairly forward about his interests and proclivities. So I give him that. Even if the message is bad, he's honest about his fallibility. In most cases. Although there are things, obviously, he held private. That most people, once they found out, were like, what? Yeah. Anyhow, so let's keep moving with this, because this is dangerous, because these are political motions, people involved with a politic at large that very terrible folks are listening to. And right here you have two people on the same panel that also were mentioned inside of a shooter's manifesto. And I don't think we should take that lightly. So yeah.
Was Kurt Cobain a high value man?
You tell me.
I think George Floyd was a high value man.
George Floyd.
Big Floyd.
They think
Big
that's.
Floyd by
And,
definition.
did you catch that?
Yeah.
Did you catch? You thought that was
He had
cute?
a trap house. He was
Up at the
big.
top. I want to make
I
sure
think
y'all
George Floyd
catch
was a
this.
high value man.
George Floyd.
Big Floyd. Big Floyd.
And she laughs after the joke comes in, so she's not laughing at the other thing. So yeah, I mean, like, I've heard these stories. I think the happenstance of the vacuum, to be frank, was proof that these folks are all vultures. The fact that Pearly Things has the balls to pull up Kevin Samuel's name as a reference on a panel with white supremacists. Which, by the way, when you see black people, don't assume that they aren't white supremacists. If you're in league with these folks, you think their humor is funny, you're supporting the ideology. And maybe it's just Nazism. Or maybe they all just agree that they don't like Jews. Or maybe there's another form of xenophobia. Or maybe it's just the love of the almighty dollar and selling pain point mechanisms as a manufactured fear state. Fascism. It's not to be taken lightly, folks.
Mission was.
Yeah.
Big Floyd.
He had a trap house. He was big.
Pink Floyd is a high value man.
Says that's the whole thing. Is what is it? Is it leaving?
Says the incel.
Or is it making
Pink
as
Floyd.
much money as you possibly
It's not a human. That's banned.
So the moral of the story is we're all not agreeing on what a high value man is, correct?
I think a high value man is something that's highly sought after by women. So like,
Yeah,
you can
that's-
be broke and you still can be a high value man because a lot.
So Pearl just agreed with the contradiction to everything that she talks about. Let's just remember that. Yes, Lita, he drank Red Bull, didn't go to the doctor, he was an idiot, and I actually somewhere have a video where he says that he doesn't trust the fluoride in the water, which I would gather is why he was drinking so much Red Bull. You know, yeah, I have no proof, I just have a hunch that he was X'd out in my gut. Yeah, there's some weird things about the former nurse who was also allegedly a call girl who he spent the last night with, and I've looked at a lot of the details of this stuff, but if you have to find anything that's not that's actually like proof positive, you know, there's a lot of coincidentals, there's a lots of nothing even that directly says that she poured or there's poison or anything, because unfortunately he died poor, so he had to be cremated very quickly. Which, you know, the confusion over why he died poor is because he was busy paying off all his bills with his newfound money. Which, by the way, YouTube, when you look at these folks, even if you have 1 million subscribers, you have to have the views for that. And only after you have about, 150,000 do you really start making money on this program. So, and then you have to have the views on a regular basis and work on a regular basis and, anyhow, it's a tough biz. That's why most of these folks have day gigs. Like Pearl did. Or did she? No. She lived at her dad's house. Although she had a dead-end copier job, right? Apparently? I wonder how she got that job.
So we're depending this on the woman's
So hold on. There's a difference. There's a difference between high value man and a high quality man. So I think high value.
Oh my God! Did someone just say something that made sense?
Man that maybe isn't valuable, but he does all the quality things that people like. But those are two completely different fucking things.
But basing this on
he
a
had
woman's
back child
perspective,
support.
I think
That's right.
makes it really a weak
Lita.
argument because women have such different perspectives and also they're naturally retarded. So.
So true. Oh my God. See, this is the modern fascism. You think they're about to say something that you're like, oh, I agree with that. And then they lead you down the asshole road.
And then there's a high quality man that maybe isn't valuable, but
Cheers
he
to
does
you,
all
all the
the
way.
quality things that people like. But those are two completely different fucking things.
But basing this on a woman's perspective, I think makes it really a weak argument because women have such different perspectives and also they're naturally retarded. So
true. All right, so now you have to wonder whose side anybody is on. They're all red pill.
What did you mean when you said that?
They're all
I just
supremacists.
said that it's the quickest path to becoming a high value man. And by the way, that also applies to people who are dirt poor, okay? Staying on your, you notice I said stay on your point, right? Don't resist resist the lure of easing up on your focus. When I bring up, say, someone like who is not necessarily super rich, the thing is when people ask me, like, do I have to look like Andrew Tate to be a high value guy, to be the top G?
And by the way, the reality is no, you don't.
Villages on
And
the coast of
I would go back to the
Chile right now,
potpourri,
who are
but
never
I
gonna
think
have
you know
a
that
Lamborghini, but they could still become high
This is
value
not
guys
true.
within the context of where they're
That's,
living.
by the way,
at that
Rollo
time.
talking.
So if the red pill is not for everybody, then it's for nobody. If all we're going to do is define it based on like how many Lamborghinis and what color your Bugatti is, then if that's your definition of a high value man, I have to sort of take issue with that. And by the way, this tradcons will say the same thing. They'll say, well, a high value man is a guy who's got grandchildren and children, and everyone's at his deathbed, and his wife's there, holding his hand as he passes into the next life. That might be their definition of a high value guy. What I'm saying is that by following the quickest path to this, you're going to get to the point where you're going to be able to maximize your potential as whatever you're a high value man as. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I bring up Gandhi. That's why I bring up MLK. That's why I bring up people who don't have that, who don't have the Bugatti. They don't have that kind of means. But did they make an impact on the world? Well, does that make them a high value or high quality man? Does that make them somebody that is a notable throughout world history? I could name lots of other names as well of people who made an effect on world history. Is that making an effect on making a dent in the universe? Does that make you a high value man? Because that's exactly when Lauren Chen says your bloodline is dead, right? Well, that's because her definition of what ought to make a high value man is you got to have lots and lots of kids and repopulate the world kind of thing. So if that's her definition, it still applies because the guy who doesn't have those liabilities and those accountabilities, he resists getting into a family, resists it, and is in better shape to actually achieve what she's.
So Rollo's trying to walk back a lot of what he's taught.
But Rollo, my question would be if what a high value man is subjective. I mean, because y'all talked a lot about facts. I mean, there are no facts because everything you said was simply an opinion. Because what's a high value man is an objective, and that's the one thing I feel like that we just
the man with opportunities and the ability to maneuver, is he in a better position to become a high value man than the guy who is not? That's really what kind of boils down to. Does it come down to the fact that if I've got...
So you hear this one person suggesting that, well, isn't this interesting? Oh, what is going on? Jimbo Zoomer. Why does the dude have his Rollo's screen cover? That's so weird. Who is anyone to put value on another human? Emily says we need to just get rid of this high value BS. Yes, it's a conversation about nothing, a description about hopes and fears and ideas that don't actually apply to anything, and it should disturb us all. When it comes right down to the sense that somehow these folks have, they have ply, they have play, they have interested parties who pay them for advertising, who get them to sit online and spread this pain message and decide for others what that value is. Now, casually, we're talking about a supremacist mindset, a fascist behavior set. But we're not actually saying it. But we have all the representatives here on the panel, at least currently. And many people have asked me when I bring up Rollo with white supremacy in his background and how it's subtly the message of white man is better, and that others can catch up and we'll drizzle down on top of you. But it's hard to catch until you see things like this scenario. But don't be fooled, folks. The supremacy built into the message of red pill, well, it should be self-evident. Because only a certain kind of human can be high value. And that is at the wang-dangle decision of whoever's in charge. And it normally looks like this guy, even though that's not Rollo. That's the image overlapped on this video for some reason, which is weird.
If I have to take care of all these responsibilities, how am I going to stay on point if I'm putting out fires all the time?
Yeah, so I think you can have 10 children and definitely be a high value man. Matter of fact, in my world, how I view what a high value man is, I think if you're unmarried, I think married men with children are peak high value man. I feel like that's the peak you can get to. And of course you have to have integrity. I think you can't be a high value man without having integrity. You have to be honest, because liars are not high value man. And finances can play a part in it, because to me, financial situations, not every time, but in a lot of moments it can prove that if you're a lazy bum or not. So if you're not bringing in any income as a man, you have to be lazy, period, point blank. So I do agree that finances play a role, but like I said, that was my whole point, that what a high value man is will probably differ between all of us. I mean, I don't know, me, Nick, and Isabel may have similarities on what we think a high value man is.
Nick, and Isabel may have similarities.
Yeah, so
based on all of the different
so he agrees with the white supremacist about stuff? Yeah.
Untrue.
Yeah.
Because this is what
I don't think that high value men get vasectomies. I think that's overrated.
No, is it the quickest?
Yeah,
is it the quickest way?
No, because that's not something high value men do.
I mean, you could just put a condom on, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't
you
think
can.
high value men use condoms.
By the way,
either.
for the audience's point of view, yes, you can just put a condom on.
I agree.
It's pretty effective, especially spermicidal ones.
Sex that isn't for procreation is going to end up.
Though ask your partner if she's sensitive to what kind of condoms, or he or they.
You're not going to win this argument, because that's
consent
all it's
as
going
well.
to end up being. Is if you
that's helpful.
Anything that's not for procreation,
always a better time to consent.
Homosexuality.
Obviously,
you're never going to win that argument.
Let's just skip to that part. Can we just skip to that?
God says it's a sin.
Now this guy
so
up here in the
can't
corner.
do it. Also, condoms are kind of gay. I feel like
condoms are
I feel
gay?
like if you're gonna be promiscuous, you should at least go in raw.
Oh, raw.
That's my opinion.
So you're agreeing that if we're going to do that, then it's probably a better prescription to get a vasectomy.
Isn't this interesting?
No, it's totally anti-viral, like anti-male. To get a
Pull-out game
vasectomy.
got to be strong.
What is it?
I don't support that, but I think that's also true. That's facts.
We're just making value calls here. We're making judgment calls here. So can a man
moral universe
without having any children?
Yes.
I gather this is an accident by one of the people who recorded this video.
No children, and I'd stay on
Maybe
my
they
point,
didn't
and I'd stay on my
realize, or
point.
maybe they
It's gonna
did.
make an impact in the world because I didn't have the liabilities, the
Let's take a look at
accountabilities,
this.
the responsibilities of the
What's really going on here? What's really going on?
Because I
don't think there is a
one
fast
thing
way to
solely to one thing. The most.
I don't think
extreme-
there is a fast track.
I don't think people lack meaning. I don't think they lack conviction.
Is this
or they
like
lack
some kind
purpose.
of,
They lack conviction right now. If you really wanted to be
Twitter
high
thing?
value, you would follow this.
What is
you
this?
really would. And I'm not saying.
So what is value?
And who is that?
No, it just depends on what
With
you
the
define
minion.
as value. As I said before,
Who assigns value?
Is this
guy, or you
Jimbo
can be- you can
Zoomer?
be Andrew Tate to be a high value guy.
Who assigns value, though?
Why did he
Either
cover
way,
up
having the opportunities
Rollo's face?
that are present to you,
Probably
and the ability
not.
to maneuver with those,
But I think let's just focus in on her.
uninhibited by family or by
Being
anything
bored.
else, you're going to be in a better position to get that quicker.
Oh, he kind of heard. He
than
kind
you
of heard the
would if
beat,
you
didn't
had
he?
them.
Who assigns
No,
value?
he didn't hear the beat. He just.
Doesn't matter who's assigning. You assign value. Doesn't make any.
But if we're defining what a high value person is, we need to know who assigns value.
Well, you're not going to be
Because
assign that
they
it's
all want to
subjective.
know
It's a
who's supposed to
subjective
make
call
up
per
who's
guy.
important.
Good. But who
Because
and who?
initially,
Subjective to who? Because what
every
it
single
sounds
one of
like
these
is
folks
Apparently,
the
to the
sexual
trad gods,
marketplace.
it's one thing, and it's not. It's not
believes
something else.
that
You see what I'm saying?
humans.
The
Oh yeah, he
sexual
just broke himself
marketplace
down.
stuff is like, well, because it's really. Well, they say that value is assigned in the marketplace, right? Like
Well,
something
he
is
probably
only
has
worth
that
what someone's
understanding
going to
because
pay
he's a
for it.
virgin.
So it sounds like this is some sexual
he has the,
marketplace stuff,
ideology
which is a man is
of a-
only worth what a woman is willing to do with him, or what, however.
Ideology of a
willing to do
child,
stuff with
essentially.
him.
You notice how you
When
say
it comes to sexuality.
Why do you have to interrupt me? Why do you have to interrupt me?
Because you've never been laid, little
I'm
man.
cooking. Let me cook.
You've never been laid.
Can we
Let
just
you
get
cook
to
about what?
It's all the Jews because of that. I think we could just skip to it.
No, don't talk about that. No.
Oh, was that
Please don't.
Rollo being
No.
Oh, what's the matter, Pearl?
No, don't talk about that. No.
Huh?
What's the matter, Pearl?
I'm cooking. Let me cook.
Can we just get to the part where we say it's all the Jews because of that? I think we could just skip to it.
No, don't talk about that. No. Please don't go there. No.
She's laughing, so she thinks it's funny.
When we talk about that, I will.
But yeah, you're right. We'll refrain from that.
And Emily says she always looks confused when people are talking. Yes, Lita, absolutely.
Women are on birth control.
And
women are straight up coon brain. Goofy.
Yes, the white supremacy orgs are indoctrinating people from all races, ethnicities, religions, and class groups to take the message of their out to their communities.
Women can't control themselves. Women are on drugs, and we're like, but we need to define our value in terms of what they want.
So you're hearing we need to define our value.
Goofies. The
Who's
idea
our?
that we would
Who's
listen
we?
to women for what a valuable man is crazy. I mean, at the same time, we're saying like women aren't traditional, women can't control themselves, women are on drugs, and we're like, but we need to define our value in terms of what they want. Pete Davidson is a high value man according to the sexual marketplace. He dated Kim Kardashian, but we all know he's a
It's all about his perception
so I don't
of like
think there is a fast track.
like
I think the way to
Inquirer
define our
News,
man
by the way. It's
is
always
build
weird to me.
character. And building character takes time and prayer and seeking the truth.
Building character
and I think you could be
takes
rich or
prayer,
poor,
apparently.
have kids or not kids. You know, I think it has nothing to do with money. I
White
think it has to do with
Christian nationalism.
your soul, because people are not just flesh and blood, but they also have a soul.
Huh.
So it's about the
Really?
nobility and the magnanimity of the soul, which is what makes somebody high value, in my opinion.
I'm gonna
Nick,
let
are you saying God defines what that is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let.
Is that
Rolo,
so?
What do you say to that?
Well, now you know why everyone
Wait,
thinks
okay.
I'm preaching
Oh.
when I put out lists like this because they can't
Hold on a
define it in
second.
any
Wait,
other-
hold on a second. Is this Pearl's panel? Yes.
framework, then it's a religious thing, then it's a belief thing. As I was saying in the beginning of this, we're going to be talking past each other because we're not even speaking the same language here. I'm talking about factual absolutism. You guys are talking about factual relativism. You guys are talking about,
in other words,
get your head out of a set of beliefs.
Facts versus
consider objective facts.
imagination.
Unless those objective facts fit into your belief set. So that's number one. Number two is this: is who gets to decide what a soul is? Who gets to decide what God is? Who gets to decide what you're praying to? Is it Islam? Is it Christianity? Is it the Jews? Is it what? Which one are we talking about? First of all, and if you don't assign value to that particular belief set, then are you living a high value life or you're not living a high value life? That's what it really kind of boils down to, because there's no objectivity in this whatsoever. It's always, these are all container words. You can fill them up with any meaning that you want to. And the people who align with your beliefs will go, yes, Nick, oh, awesome for you, right? Yeah, he really represents my beliefs. But then does that make you factually correct? No, it doesn't. Like, I expect to lose debates. You know why? Not because I'm wrong, but because of that mentality right there. So basically what you're doing is you're assigning value that you think. It's exactly what Ben Shapiro did. He creates another list.
By the way,
here's what's really a high
I
value,
definitely wouldn't advise you to go ahead and roll that back and find
I just gave a list of
website that this comes from.
This is what I
because it's up there.
He's married and has a
And
kid,
every
he
piece of
said.
information you could want about each of these people
I am a shining
is actually in here.
That's not
brought to you by the news service that I get this from.
Because people will say, you're a hypocrite. You're not living
Who
like
is
this.
Nick praying to?
Yeah, I know, because
Yes.
I'm giving you an objective
Great question.
observation
I think he thinks it's God.
What's going on
But
today.
I would say it's probably the monkey.
You're the kid.
Likely the
Why are you
monkey.
against marriage? I'm not. I'm giving you the freaking observations here.
I tip my fedora.
Listen, I haven't made any of them claims against you at all, except for the one about your premise
You don't
about it
have
not
to.
being
You don't have to because you're aligned with the same thing as Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh.
Are you assuming what I'm saying now? You assuming what I mean?
Up until this point, I am right now. Until you
Okay,
say
good, because you did.
One of the most amazing things about this video is it's just a bunch of people who all essentially agree, arguing about the minutia within the red pill ideology. But really what they're arguing
things are objective facts, but the premise
is fascism and how to impose it and what will work within it. Because the parameters of what they're talking about aren't red pill. Their ideology.
Not having family, not worrying about marriage, not worrying about having
personal
a kid
practices
out of wedlock or in wedlock. If you want to be in a better position to optimize the opportunities that you have in
and
life,
psychology to implement
for you not to have those
the behavior
and those attachments to you. Whether or not you take those on later on as a high value man is really kind of up to you. But the thing is,
so they can spread the message
to point B is how I
and understand what message it is that they're spreading.
Didn't say what's widely considered a high value man. Your point B said verbatim a high value man. So since that part,
did you hear the part where I was talking about?
Oh, first off, I think it's funny. It's not his term.
And I was saying, like, you know, Brandon Carter's lifestyle is this. Like, he doesn't worry about going to the grocery store. He doesn't worry about laundry. He doesn't worry about cleaning his house.
He used DoorDash. Yeah, I heard you.
All that stuff. Like,
Let's go, Brandon.
Eliminates every possibility for distraction that would take him away from his point and from making money to getting to the point where he wants to be, whatever his goal is. But he's essentially following. Maybe he doesn't have a vasectomy, but whatever his goal is.
Maybe he doesn't have the best sex or whatever, but his goals are good. He's high value.
Because in my definition of a high value man, that
he has a lot of money,
having children,
and no morality, no ethics,
things,
but he's high value.
A guy like Brandon Carter performs a guy like you.
You think so? How much money do you think I make a year?
So now we are basing it on money, right?
No, I'm basing it on whatever you think.
I mean, Brandon Carter getting that bag. I ain't gonna cap.
Wait. Your claim just now.
Wait, I just was thinking. So, if your goal is to have like a wife and a family, but the way and most women are today, which you could say find the exception, but we're going by the rule, right? Like the way most women are today, the best place you could be in is to have the most leverage in that relationship. So to have things like your muscle, your money, get to that point, I would say is having experience with women and having the time to build.
Hopefully I didn't kill the audio to you.
So even if you're wanting to
get an
start a
experiment
family, I would imagine the best way to get the highest quality women is to have that stuff figured out.
It's on the beast, so we're all good.
Not everything on his list for starters. For seconds, I just want to say again, he moved the goalpost in the last thing he said. Because first he said high value man, then he moved it to saying was widely considered a high value man, even though he already admitted that his definition of a high value man.
Sorry, I need you to slow down a bit.
I bet she does.
So where did he move the goalpost?
Simple. In his tweet.
I know you need him to slow down because you have a hard time following along, Burl. It's okay. In fact, you know what? I haven't said this yet.
What do you call it? He called it
all right, I feel better.
Objective reality or something like that.
Oh yeah, there's the politics. There's the politics.
What a high value guy is. And you said it was by money.
It's all there, right inside of it.
Who I would presume is in the same business as you, as being an influencer. Is he in a better position to outperform someone like you? You could say if there's two guys and one of them is you got two Gandhis for fuck's sake. You got two Gandhis and one of them's married and has all his attachments.
Two Gandhis? What is the absurdity? They just make stuff up that doesn't even make sense half the time. And I'm one who can bloviate with the best of them. But
you can take that.
Yeah.
And you can
Emily, MAGA cult is essentially fascist. It seems.
Yeah, but my point is you're wrong. Because once again, my definition of a high value man, you can't get to that place based on what you just said, right? Because you get to the place. What I'm saying, the Bible says, finding a wife.
Oh, so it's Bible driven.
Find a wife. Okay. You have to get engaged.
So would you disagree? Because in my head, it's like,
but
okay,
Jesus
if your goal,
didn't find a wife. He was a high value man.
Jesus is the Messiah, the Son of God. He don't play by the same rules we do. And
okay, but even
so now we're down to the fact that they deal with everything in the logic of imaginary
let's say your goal is to find
ideas.
a wife, right, and have a family. Wouldn't you say? Because in 2023, there's a lot of risks that go with marriage, right? So wouldn't you think that the best position to be in when dealing with women is to have as much of your stuff together as possible? And
you disagree on what that stuff is. So if you want the type of woman that I'm talking about, what a high value man is, obviously in the Bible, you can't can't be unequally yoked. So you have to find a woman of God. To be a woman of God, the first thing you have to get together is to be a man of God. To be a man of God has nothing to do with finances, right? I mean, it does a little bit, but not in the beginning. It's to repent.
Lita Caproni says, what does Slim Jesus have to do with high value men?
And of
oh,
course,
you didn't
can't
know?
Be lazy because those that don't work don't eat. So
this
it's about
is that term high value man comes from the mega churches pre. That's actually where that term comes from. It's not a red pill term. It's just an inclusion from the supremacy unit.
Because it's like
this is white nationalist Christianity.
Because
don't
even
forget
if that's your goal and your goal is to get
very
like, the highest
important
quality wife
in all
possible,
of this.
like that's part of it, right?
The religious
issue is
aspect
that, like,
goes back to
I'll start
pre-Oklahoma
guys,
City
like,
bombing.
During this documentary
folks.
that I've been doing, and on paper they had a wife that had all the things you're talking about, and so it's like, I don't know.
You're not going to win the argument because you can't win an argument against God.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He said you need to find a woman of God.
What did he just say there? Because you can't win an argument against
no woman of God. The man has to bring the woman to the faith.
I just want to respond to the other thing. Other thing what Pearl said real quick. If you actually look at people that are more stern in their faith, admittedly Christians are the least obedient, the most lukewarm. But if you look at Abrahamic religions that are more like inclined to their faith, they have the lowest rates of divorce and lowest rates of all
Here's
of the things
the religion ideology side.
Your show. So if you follow the rules of God, you be with somebody that's equally yoked. Then in most cases,
equally
not
yoked.
all, but in most cases, if y'all abide by the rules of the Bible,
didn't know God yoked you out.
You won't end up in those situations because y'all.
Thought yoking out was like something you did at the gym.
Of course, we are too.
Or maybe when you were making
sexual immorality,
pancake. Or I'm sorry,
those are the only two
French toast yoking out.
For divorce. Most divorces, as you know, Pearl, happen over financial reasons. So people that are getting divorces over financial
I've been wrong about it the whole time.
Get a divorce. That's why I think that there's a disconnect. But
Timothy McVeigh trained and was indoctrinated by a very, very similar group. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Emily. Same ideas, same ideology.
I think none of us that are actually tradcons will agree with that sentiment or statement.
Tradcon.
Yeah, I agree.
Traditional.
Crowder might be gay.
He does dress like a woman.
Are we on to that already?
Damn.
I'm just saying. Not very
So by the way, that's the that is the edgelord logic. When you have nothing to say, when you don't know what to do, when you haven't been listening, the easiest thing is to say something stupid like you would to a 7th grader. Oh, this is gay. I'm just gay. I'm just gay. This is gay. Because despite the fact that she's probably in her late 20s, no, mentally, emotionally, she's the example of what we'll see taking part. All thought and no reason. All smiles and giggles, but literally no emotional intellect. No sense of self. Just looking for negative attention via valor signaling, so that they can be included in group, as they say. These are not real Jesus followers, in Emily's opinion. And I agree. Christianity doesn't teach you to hate, doesn't teach you to limit or force your, like the root doctrines, the things that people take away that should be good about that belief. Mind you, that's not how people practice it, but yes. Yes. They use Christianity to get money and power, and and remember what Leviticus in their book says about that. They go somewhere real bad. They suffer really badly because of that. So, and don't forget in their idea, the second coming, that wipes out the whole planet. Doesn't sound much like a savior to me. Anyhow, don't get me started on that, the theology side. I have some takes on it that people don't really like. Let's just say. By the way, if you didn't notice, I do have my follower thing down here. And it's slowly hovering, getting higher. I've got a 33 follower thing over there on the Twitch space. So, kind of, and Emily says, kind of like Trump waving his Bible after tear gassing peaceful. Oh, yes. Going to a church, tear gassing people to go to a church across the way that he didn't need to do, that he did last minute, that he hadn't organized, that he wasn't welcome to go to, simply because, I think everybody forgets, The pastor of that church told him he wasn't welcome and was the first president to be unwelcomed in the church across the way. So he was going to prove a point by just showing up and waving a Bible upside down, not realizing that's a message to those who are real believers. That's a message. That's like, oh, he just held up the Bible upside down. Holy shit. No, he's just a moron. Like a lot of these folks buying into this shit and just spreading it without knowing what they're spreading.
Also, Dennis Prager is Jewish.
No, stop it! Stop it! No.
So is
No.
This is Pearl's panel, by the way, if you didn't know.
Not on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Not really our guy.
Photo op.
Doesn't that debunk what he just said? Because he was just talking about Abrahamic religions having...
No, it doesn't. Dennis Prager does not.
Divorce.
Dennis Prager does not follow what he believes his religion to be, though. That's why he thinks being bisexual is normal.
Well, because my question is,
these people
I
ostracized.
swear it's like
They
a majority of
xenophobe.
guys in.
They are xenophobe. They're
and like they're addicted to
just
like I'm not gonna say it because I can't on YouTube, but like pornography. It's like a majority. I thought like 51% of churchgoers believe in divorce. So it's like telling a guy, oh, just go to the church and find a good girl.
Did she just associate? Oh, a second. Did she just?
I just don't know if that's gonna work.
Let me
for,
just
like,
double
the
check
average
before I
guy
say
in
that. I'm not saying
2023.
that.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not
where
saying
did
that.
I?
I didn't say that at all.
Okay, where? Oh,
Yeah,
just go to the church.
oh, her miss a subject, an idea?
Pornography. It's like a majority. I thought like 50. I don't remember what religion it was. Like they watch corn, and like they're addicted to like I'm not gonna say it because I can't on YouTube, but like pornography. It's like a majority. I thought like 51% of churchgoers believe in divorce. So it's like telling a guy, oh, just go to the church and find a good girl. I just don't know if that's gonna work for like the average guy in 2023. Okay,
Yeah,
where did I?
didn't say that at all.
Okay, where did I misunderstand you?
Well,
because you weren't listening.
About church at all.
Probably.
I said you have to repent and become a man of God yourself, so you would attract the type of woman you want, which would then be a woman of God. And then what I said about Abrahamic religions was about divorce. I don't know the statistics on porn. I think you may be talking about possibly you could be talking about people in the Middle East. I mean corn, but possibly
She's demonetized anyhow, but she's not even on. This isn't on YouTube.
You said churchgoers. Most of those people are Christians, and Christianity is.
This can't be on YouTube.
So yeah, that was my point.
No, it's on Rumble.
So if it's in a sunken
Except
place,
it
then how
was
are you
on
gonna find that
YouTube.
woman of God?
It was just
You
private
said by
afterwards.
repenting and then you'll manifest it.
Because people know the difference between.
Yes, I've often said Pearl and Nick. I was actually saying Sin G, Cynthia G, and
it's gonna be hard for you to understand.
And in honor,
understand the faith.
In honor of Cynthia G and Nick getting married, I would wear my best wig.
Okay. People that
Best
are
white
truly
person wig.
In the word are truly strong in their
Which,
faith.
as you well know, is actually just a helmet
And the Bible says
made of
the
tinfoil.
difference in 1 John chapter 3 is that the children of God and the children of Satan are obvious. And then it lays out the.
And I'm doing this because I don't want to catch any of these bad. I still have the Jewish laser beam over here, so
today support same-sex
I didn't want to
marriage,
catch any of the stuff.
You think I'm gonna consider those people? Of course.
The social contagion.
If I see a woman
fucking
simping
lunacy.
For Blair White, I know for sure this isn't the one. Now, my fiance on the other
most
hand,
women though.
But by the way, do you like it? Is this good on me? Is this fit, or am I just? Should I take it down a notch? Should I work the bangs? Should I try the Sin G?
Nobody ever said it was the majority though.
But I'm saying it doesn't.
Don't wife the hose.
Don't.
It is the majority. That's what I was saying.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing, but that has no bearing on what I just said. Like my fiance is a virgin. She don't engage in those silly things.
When did you meet her?
So
she doesn't engage in those silly things like having a sex drive.
Okay, how old is she?
They really think that sex is like some obscure thing in life, despite the fact that there's 8 billion of us because somebody had sex to make us. It's the craziest thing.
What up?
Oh, thank you, Emily. They're very easy to get a hold of, strangely enough.
How do you verify her virginity?
Or Ralph's. Sorry, Lucky's.
Oh, at first I
pretty
didn't
much
believe
the
it, 'cause
local store. Yes.
Where I'm from,
Anyway,
we don't do it. But
7-Eleven.
There's no virgins where I'm from in High Point, North Carolina. But
she need a oil for that or something. Or some that goes and checks out to see if the safety seal's back still on. I forget how that works.
But she grew up in a much different area, in a different place. Her situation is more unique, and also she wasn't a virgin. She would have
sell a proper tinfoil hat. I was thinking. That's funny.
We've been
That's a good idea.
We've been dating for 3 years. We've never even been close to having sex.
That's a
So
very
you
good
haven't
idea,
physically checked out if she's a virgin.
No, I'm a Christian, bro.
So you,
They think women don't like sex. Yes, that's the whole other portion.
There's
of it.
only a few.
That's a
I'm
whole
not
other
a
portion.
just take her to the doctor and see if she has a hymen.
Oh, you mean like take her to the doctor?
Okay, first off, let me just point out, this is how juvenile they actually are. Is that they think that they're still thinking like 18th century, like, oh, a woman's hymen is the sign of whether or not they're a virgin. And it's, I mean, this is a reason why sex ed is so important. A woman's, I'm not gonna teach you folks. Go look it up. It's just not how that works. It's not how that works. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Grown ass people. And I bet you neither of the women know either. Sorry. I should be extending the love here, but the grace level is just dropping in my zone. Imagine me having 2 kids with someone who thought I didn't like having sex with him. I told him he was clearly mentally ill. Yeah. True. Now, in the longer interpersonal sense, by the way, it is a struggle for us all. It is a back and forth. It is an up and down. Sometimes we don't feel good. Sometimes we do feel good. Sometimes we're not in sync with our partner. And these are the things. And I'm sorry that you had that experience, Lita. That sucks. And, you're actually a lovely human being. So know that clearly, and I know that you actually, I think you've already handled that. There's already someone there. I'm sure that there's somebody that appreciates you and gets the balances. And this is the thing, though, is life is long. And none of us should expect that we're always going to be in the same, biorhythms with our partners. But that's part of the challenge of love and care and relationships. It's just not a fairy tale romance. And these folks are playing on that lack of knowledge. And they're adding in a very insidious poison to it that makes it so nobody can really get together without a set of rules that don't apply to human natural behavior, interests, or the acknowledgement that it doesn't take money. That's not about money. That's not about comfort. It's not about any of that. It's about you and the other person finding each other attractive and interesting, comforting, empathetic, reliable. There's so many things. It's not just 1 or 2 things, and money doesn't win the day. Unless, of course, you're talking about strippers. Because then strippers, that's how they make their money. So, then you could basically guarantee that this will work. And you could just go on one of those dating websites that basically, where you just pay for it. I mean, I have nothing against that. But then to be honest about that would help everybody. And frankly, it's okay. I made fun of him, and he was like, you need to calm the fuck down. I mean, he actually left comfortable after I told him to chill. Oh, yeah. That's good. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, these messages, they can get mistaken. Because companionship is not just sex. That's the other portion of this that lets me know that none of these people have a healthy sex life, because it all boils down to that. And as someone who's actually been in a sexless relationship before, for the majority of the decline, there was actually great portions of the companionship, but our needs weren't met. And that's important too. And relationships are complex. It's not to be taken lightly, and it's not to be just thrown out with the baby in the bathwater, but at the same time, you shouldn't endure through things that are unhealthy and aren't, that aren't for you, if they aren't. And that's a very subjective thing. It's an experience thing. And then these folks that have you believe you should endure through abuse. like MLD was talking about, which is, I don't even remember what that stands for, the acronym. I don't care. He was basically telling people to endure through abusive relationships because everybody just gives up so easily. Meanwhile, his girlfriend just broke up with him recently. So, anyhow.
She told you she was a virgin. Shouldn't you verify that? I mean, you're just going off a blind faith.
No, it's not blind faith. You can tell. I would have figured it out by now if she wasn't.
Oh, he would have figured it out because he's a virgin genius, apparently. Virgin psychic.
Experience with women. How would you be able to figure out?
A lot of women. I've been popular all my life. And most women just simply
So,
aren't virgins.
it's okay for him to not be a virgin, but she's got to be a virgin because apparently we're back in the 18th century where that's the value system they're pushing. Boy, this sure sounds like, what is that story called? It's called The Handmaid's Tale. Gilead. Supremacy. Patriarchy, for real. That's crazy shit. And Emily, good on you. No one should be enduring abuse. As someone who's experienced it myself, yeah. Reach out, and if you are at home, and this is something that you're experiencing now, make sure to reach out to a friend, make it to safety, get what you need out, take care of yourself. But first and foremost, folks, we're the only ones who can watch out for ourselves. Don't fall into a psychosis or a Stockholm syndrome that's so easily had, because it's most often what they call beaten spouse syndrome, where a spouse will stay longer than they need to because they want to try to fix or mend the relationship, and then that gets abused. And it's not worth it. It's the extra time that people spend taking that abuse that gets them hurt. Take it from me. And also, you can end up in a position where any of the things that you thought you were doing right can get used against you. Also, take that from me. Because, trust me, there's amazing ways that things, especially as a man, the world can be used against you. Because a lot of the world just assumes that if anybody raises their arms, that immediately you've done wrong. The most attention nowadays, the most valor signaling, that's who's right? No, we've just given way to that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lita. That's not okay. And I'm glad to see that you've come out the other side as a better person than to repeat any of it. Because that's often, it's not uncommon that happens. Hurt people. I think we've all heard that before.
Did you verify that she was a virgin?
Well, because every other girl I've dealt with, they tried to have sex with me.
Right, just because a woman doesn't
Yeah, maybe she's having sex with somebody else, buddy.
I didn't say.
Maybe she just likes you for your money, or
evidence.
Maybe she doesn't like your smell.
That's not evidence, bro. That's not evidence.
Maybe you don't wipe.
You know the definition of evidence is?
Properly? I don't know.
Evidence is if you go and take her to the doctor and check and she has a hymen. That's evidence.
That's
anything you need, Leo, anytime.
No, that is the.
I don't think y'all know. I don't think y'all know the definition of words. Sometimes y'all say, but and I do find it interesting that you're so angry that my fiance.
He's not angry.
I'm smiling. How did I become angry?
You keep saying everyone's angry, Bryson. No one's angry.
I know, Bryson. A lot of projection going on over there because everybody's angry because he's angry.
Bro. You know this boy started raising his voice because he vehemently wants to find a way that.
But you're raising your voice more than he is.
You're raising your voice.
Which is fine.
Bryson, let me ask you a question.
Anybody
would you consider Saul about a high value man?
Saul or Paul?
No, Saul. I'm talking about Saul. How not? Why not? In every standard and metric, he would be considered a high value man to the people in that time.
Not in my metric.
Oh, okay. So now it's subjective. You're making high value completely.
I told you. I said it was subjective from the beginning.
But here's the thing: there's universal collective that all high-value men have traits that everybody could be attracted to, and those are status of some sort, to whether people want to invest time in them or they want to be associated with them to some degree. Women want to be near them to either help their career or get with them. Men want to be in business with them or be associated with them. That elevates their
Thank you,
status.
Lita.
That's what.
Sometimes
completely financial.
we go through
Saul was
things to
just
learn
that.
lessons
Or he was
you'd
Paul.
hope you'd avoid.
Hey, Glenn.
Paul,
Sometimes they come at you from different angles
what
as
he
well.
did in the Bible, right?
And that's
After
the
before
joy
that,
of
he
life,
already had a
actually, is that we get to
of
find
value.
something out of those darkness
to a certain
moments.
second.
You know.
First of all, I don't think you understood what I said. I said this was subjective from the beginning, and I think you're trying to paint it as objective. The only things that are objective about men and women is women want somebody that can protect and provide.
That's the only thing women want is someone to protect and provide. That's the only. That's the only thing that women want is for men to protect and provide. That's the only. That's the only thing that women want.
Still a high value man to those people too. They just feared him.
No, he wasn't a high value. What? No,
Yes,
he wasn't.
Can I get ones in the chat if that's the only thing that women want?
If they weren't worried about him, they wouldn't care.
You can leave the chat empty if you don't want to respond at all, because I'm just looking for ones if that's the only thing that women want to. So apparently,
our houses and stone us for him on his order. He has value.
okay, so we're talking about stoning. So this is very relevant to today's actions and ideologies. Stoning. Clearly, the women in the chat do not agree with home slice.
Doesn't mean they're not high value to you.
So I have a question, and I hope you answer it bluntly and honestly. Are you making the claim that the women of that time that were followers of Christ, they wanted to be with Saul?
No, I said they still.
Oh, this is an interesting thing.
This person had authority.
So basically,
he could do things that they can't do. That the average.
Do you think, yes or no, do you think the women of that time that are followers of Christ, they wanted to be with Saul? Yes or no?
I think they would get with them if they thought it
You'd
was
be
in their best
surprised.
so the women of the time would have gotten with Saul. And this is so important because these are the things that teach our friends and our family and our loved ones how to have better interpersonal relationships. Relating Saul's dating worthiness. I see. The big ideas are here, folks. These are the big ideas they got.
You can prove this. I know that for a fact. So are you
Well, I
saying
mean,
this is
if you want to just
objective
read
truth?
like,
Okay, I gotta, I'm sorry. I gotta bring some potpourri. It smells like axe, and there's like an undertone of, it's like salty, vitamin E? Is that vitamin E? No, I don't think that's vitamin E. It's fishy. Oh. Pow! Yeah. Let's get the potpourri in here, shall we?
Provide you with all the.
Oh no, that's a commercial. Hold on a second. No. That's
When you're honest and straightforward with women, you can avoid misunderstandings and uncertainty, which can lead to greater self-assurance and a stronger
That's
sense
that
of
fishy
your
smell.
own self-worth. You don't like the fact that she's flaked on you twice? Don't give her a third chance.
Exactly.
And that's just one example. There's a million more positive and negative
And this
examples.
goes for
I can
anybody.
give you,
It's not
but
just
being
a.
direct can really help you
She
feel
speaks
more
to men
in
specifically.
control of your dating life.
About women.
When you're indecisive or passive, you're often second guessing yourself or questioning and overthinking.
Yes,
far more
don't
than you
overthink
should.
it.
Being passive or indecisive often stems from a fear of making the wrong choice, a lack of confidence in your decision-making abilities, a lack of information or knowledge about your options,
100%.
anxiety or stress, or even a tendency to overanalyze or consider too many variables. And I
Yes.
think really understanding the root cause of your indecisiveness can help you develop strategies to overcome it and make more confident and effective decisions. And this is something that many of us have to work on.
Confidence is
I
in
will be
everything.
transparent and
Reminding
say
yourself
I
that
am
you're
one of the
awesome.
most
Even if you may not be,
people on
you
the
gotta
planet,
have a
and
little
it's because
tiny
I
touch of,
constantly second
you know,
guess myself.
hedonistic
I wanna make
delusion
sure I make the
to
right
remind
choice.
yourself
I
that
don't
you're
wanna
cool,
let
because
anybody down.
nobody wants to be with a
This is
sad
something that I
sack.
had to really work
That's
on
the
the
truth.
past couple of years.
And I've been
because it
that
was
person
getting
before.
absolutely out of hand.
But I found love for
improved this
myself,
about myself
and then
recently,
exposed it
but
to
I
the
just wanna
world
let you
and
know
said
that
yes
this is
more
something
often.
that a lot of people deal with, and it's something that you just have to actively work on. Nobody is perfect. It's okay
Nobody's
if you're a
perfect. You
little
have to
bit
actively work on
indecisive, or
it.
You feel like you're not super direct. These are two things that you can absolutely improve on and work on. It just takes a little bit
Emily,
of
let me just tell you, you're not alone, but feel free to hate on them because they're spreading hate and you're just mirroring it back to them. They'll get it tenfold. And by the way, people often try to suggest that this wasn't something passing through the atmosphere. You just can't let it infect us. We can't let it infect us. We can't let it become a contagion for us. Rather, we have to turn it into a lensing outward and expose them to the blazing hot laser beam light of the hand that we reach out to our friends and family to plant these seeds, the seeds of love, as comparative to the seeds of hate. And we plant these seeds as if we are the flower that spreads its pollen to the bees on the breeze, as you well know. It's important, friends. Let's not live in the obelisk. Let's not throw the bedazzled, poopy, covered, bedazzled poopy, the gold out of the gold-plated bucket at our neighbors and friends. We don't have to do that. We don't have to fucking do that. We can be free of all this bullshit. Why? Why and how? Oh, well, right here. If this is where we got to start, I'm right here. There's more of us. We're all sitting here. But it's that hand that we reach to our friends in love, even if they're despicable. But some of these people, it's hard to not just say, fuck you. And by the way, I can't play the song anymore. I got hit like over and over with copyright. But it's okay. They didn't say take it down. They just said don't do that. Don't do that. By the way, strangely enough, even though that is a cover and the originating, I'm still waiting for a response back, but yeah, I'm just gonna avoid it. Though you've all heard it, and it'll play regularly. It'll play regularly. So, thank you so much. Thank you so much for liking that, by the way. Yeah. So let's do a little bit more of her advice before we go back to the mind-numbing stupidity of a conversation about whether or not people would date Saul from the Bible.
I think this is a really important skill to
Because he
acquire and something that
might
all of
be
you
a
should
high-value
working on
man.
if you're not already. My next tip is to change your internal monologue. So whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Changing your internal monologue can help you with confidence because our thoughts and our beliefs have a...
What does this mean, changing your internal monologue? It means saying things to yourself like, you know what, when you hear yourself say, I can't do that, you go, you know what, no, you can. You just haven't tried. I bet you could totally do that. You're a good person. You know what, don't think so little of yourself. Changing that internal monologue and repeating and saying things that aren't self-deprecating to yourself. Reminding yourself that you're awesome. Unless you've done terrible things to people that take, have some regret, have some empathy, and learn to be better. You can change. Every human can change. We're not stuck. It's the truth. It's just the absolute truth. And frankly, a lot of these folks would have you believe, not her, but they would have you believe that you're just stuck and you'll never succeed unless you do the one or two things that they tell you, and that's part of the brainwashing. That's part of the convincing you that you're less than, when it's a form of xenophobia. It's a form of psychosis. It's bullshit. It's plain out bullshit. Every one of us has a chance to be more than we are, even if it's just a little way. We all have a tool or a specialty that we bring to the world that makes us special because we're normal. And normal is special, frankly. They relate to one another. Every single one of us has a special trait. Every single one of us. There is literally nobody on the planet who doesn't have something that we're not missing. It just happens to be that a lot of these motherfuckers who are Teutonic, who are essentially binary in thinking, they would have you believe that there's only one answer because that's the only answer they know, and it's projection and fear, because if you were to say something else, well, then their whole entire world would come crashing down because then they're not validated. And most of the time, that's just negative attention being needed. That's how they learn to get attention. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. Oh, did you want to stop off somewhere along the way? Did you need to see...
But the thought of, like, me and my pet monkey and my wife taking care of us, and also I get to have sex with her. Now that's
And
a
also
winner.
he gets to have
like,
sex
that's
with her.
a winner chicken dinner. And
Yeah.
then I get a caretaker.
Apparently.
And I get a monkey.
This is the
and
background reliability
I'll
level
have sex
of
with
the
my
panel
wife.
participants.
And then probably kids later on, and then me.
And then probably kids
and
later
my
on. We're not
son.
sure whether it's the monkey or the wife still,
my monkey.
or the caretaker. Sorry, I'm never sure which that is. But yeah, let's go back to what I was sharing with you.
Read like how about you read like a third of
Oh, there he
Proverbs,
is.
where it talks about female nature.
Winner, chicken, monkey dinner. Monkey chicken dinner. I guess.
You talking to the
What about Proverbs 5?
It's probably the
Seven,
dinosaurs
though.
because he doesn't like the round ones.
And listen, ask me
There's a
three times, I'm not the guy.
lot more in there than just what you're naming.
I'm not the guy for the Bible talk. You're not gonna win. Trust that.
No, actually, I probably will.
Exactly, you're not the guy for the Bible talk. I don't even know what you're talking about. This theology is so far out.
Because you're trying to do.
Let's try it. Let's try it.
I mean, you're
show me the
gaslighting.
Bible. Prove this in the Bible. Let's do it. Let's
Prove this in the Bible.
What scripture?
I mean, all he's
Prove
saying
this
is-
in the Bible.
all
How
he's
do
saying
you?
is because
Someone tell me.
Saul's position of power, most likely there were women who would want to be with him solely off of his position of power.
Most likely, you can't. There's no way you can quantify that. There's no way you can prove that. There's no scripture.
Bryson. You don't think that's
Ain't
just
nobody- there's
common
no scripture
sense?
that's gonna say,
Like,
Oh, it's just common sense. The Bible's just common sense for
So would
white
Hitler be
nationalist
a
Christian.
high value man then, under this power definition?
Based.
I mean,
Based. Oh, based. That answers everything.
Yeah.
Based. That's not
You're
subjective.
here or not,
Based.
He had a
That's
point.
why-
I thought we were asking if women. I thought we were asking if.
Because
women
I want
wanted
a
to get
monkey
with
and a
Saul, do
wife
women wanna get
caretaker.
with bad men. No, but no, I'm saying
Based.
like I'm saying wait. So I'm saying, do women want to get with bad men? It's like women literally write
You do.
love letters to serial killers.
Just pearly things.
Oh,
Y'all
okay,
made
so
a
the
claim
extreme
earlier.
idea
Y'all
that
said
you won't
conservatives
accept
don't
from other
like
people,
masses,
but
like
from you it's
feminists.
okay.
They're going
Okay,
back.
bro.
So I need all three of y'all to admit on this platform that you cannot quantify or prove that any biblical women in the Bible, you have no evidence to say they wanted to get with Saul while he was persecuting them. You can have that opinion. I'm not against you having your.
They are
opinion on
literally
something.
debating
You're right.
the dateability of Saul from the Bible, asking to prove it with the Bible.
Makes you high value women. Because actually, Paul actually writes.
Oh
it's
my
better
God.
for you not to get married and pursue.
Oh!
Then you get married. But if you're gonna get married, if you cannot avoid
Oh
sexual
my God.
immorality, this
There
is
we go. Panel.
It's, yeah, but what is he saying? It's better for you to
Oh
not
my God.
not to pursue ministry and not get married. That's
Only.
why he said that. He said
Oh
that
my
it's
God.
better for you to not be married.
So don't get
and
married,
pursue
get a
ministry.
vasectomy,
Then-
don't pursue.
Okay.
What do these people really stand for?
It's better for you to get married. So
Let's finish the
therefore, no. So therefore, a high value man doesn't have to be married. A high value man doesn't have to have kids.
Let's finish the
Yeah,
context.
I don't think anyone's arguing that.
So now a high value man doesn't get married and doesn't have kids at all.
You said a high value man is somebody to have kids.
It's an
If
incel.
Paul wasn't a high value man.
Father.
Boy,
No,
what a
no,
message
man,
to the whole crowd of folks that haven't been laid and they're in their
I said
30s.
in my version of a high
That's a high value man now.
Peak high value man would have kids. So you're taking what I said out of context. because
Oh,
y'all-
now it's
No,
peak
no.
high value man
Hold on.
would have kids. I see.
I'm just thinking like this.
saying-
Wait. Because I'm just thinking this kind of goes back to what like Rolo was saying earlier. How like when we talk to you guys, like it goes back to like it becomes a moral thing. Because you guys
Y'all
are,
bring
you
up the
get you
Bible.
wait.
It becomes
wait,
a moral
Bryson,
thing.
Jesus. It's like wait. Can you wait? You've gotten
No.
to talk a lot this stream. Just wait.
Wait,
And so I'm saying like we were talking earlier when like that whenever we talk with like the conservatives, it always becomes a moral thing. So you guys are saying like the high value man is like one that follows God, but we can't like quantify that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way to really like find stats. No, I mean you could can you what? You get so like reactionary. I'm just like what?
I naturally make faces.
Reactive.
Morality has nothing.
So
to
she
do
has a
with it.
problem with someone, specifically a black man making faces? Incel revolution.
It
That's
goes
right.
back to the question
And
of
what do you
who
think
is
they do to the
assigning
rest of
value?
us?
Because if we're talking about women assigning the value, with their selections in the so-called sexual marketplace, then,
So-called
like
sexual,
I said,
yeah, because
it's
he's never been
arbitrary,
laid, he's never
and
even had a
also women are bad
girlfriend,
arbiters
he's in
of
his
that
late
because they're all on
20s.
drugs and they all have problems.
Well,
we're talking
because
about
all women are on drugs and have
if we're talking
problems.
about God assigning the value of men or like honorable men,
And of course, he would know what God wants, right?
What it means to be
because he's got that
so-called high value,
I guess,
is
complex.
to have a nobility of the soul. So, because I agree, I mean, you could be a bad person,
but can you guys?
Wait, Nick. So just question, like, how would you? Because I hear what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree, but I'm just like, how would you define that, and how would you like numerically, like, how would you define that?
Why does it need to be quantifiable? Because it's a qualitative, attribute.
Like, who the fuck are you, dude?
You fucking Gandhi.
We don't need to.
Think about it. Who defines the value?
Wait, we don't.
Excellent question, Rollo.
We don't need to.
I like Oasis.
That's
I
all
was
this
at
whole fucking
Woodstock in
conversation is.
'69. Who the hell are you?
Who defines the value?
I watched.
Wait, okay, guys. This is productive.
Oh, Pearl losing control of a panel? I can't possibly imagine.
Because you know what? Your religion, the Bible. Okay, so your interpretation of the Bible. Let me just get this. Your interpretation of the Bible could be that this is a high value, but it may not be the same interpretation that I interpret it. Why do you think that the church is divided in how many different denominations? Y'all can't get it on the same page.
So do you hear what he's saying?
How can
He's
they determine
right. They're literally having a conversation around a conversation. They're trying to decide what the red pill really is, but they can't get away from its religious roots. Why? Because the ideologies are based inside of Christian nationalist ideologies, not unlike Timothy McVeigh. And we need to remember that this is a subset group that is exactly like the worst of the worst in ISIL, ISIS, in Daesh. These folks have taken action, and their followers respond. And they're lonely people. They're angry. And they want control of things that they don't have control of in themselves. And they'll believe just about anything and anyone who tell them something that agrees with them. Let's watch the end of this.
Because even so that's an interesting point, because even this panel isn't on the same page. Like you two, which are like more from this way, but from like the conservative side, like Bryson, you're Christian, right? Right?
Yes, but I want to respond.
Wait, no, but I'm saying.
Are you Catholic
or
are you?
Nick's Catholic, so those are because you guys you guys.
So they're talking about schism.
Wait.
Now at least we got to that part of the conversation.
Wait, so I'm just guys. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like from what I know, because about Christian and Catholic, it's like you have to be baptized in order to go to like heaven if you're a Christian, right? Do you believe that?
In different denominations.
Wait. So I just
John
want
the
to know, is that true or is that true or false? But you guys don't count like infant baptism, right?
So they're literally trying to decide what a high value person is based off of baptism.
This is just what I understand. Okay, wait. I just want to know if I'm right or I'm wrong.
That seems pretty religiously ideological to me. I wonder if most of the audience of Muslims would appreciate that.
Doesn't count in Christianity.
Those Muslims like, Andrew Tate, who've now just recently...
for me, I don't believe in infant baptism because you're
taking on the Muslim faith.
Okay, but you need...
I wonder how those folks feel about this.
I'm just kidding, sorry.
But so you believe that like if you were baptized as a baby, in general, you can't get into heaven because you need to be baptized to get to heaven, right?
Yeah, Kevin Samuels was several things. He's also
like you need to be baptized. Okay, in order to get into heaven, you need to be baptized, right?
But I believe he was also a deacon, or he was a part-time preacher.
Okay, I just...
And
that's not a no. It was a yes, and you would just...
Okay,
I'm just...
Okay, get cocky. Yes, she doesn't have anything straight.
So I'm saying...
She doesn't know anything. By the way, Moorcat does an incredible breakdown of how bad she gets things wrong.
Baptized as a baby, your definitions of the high value
Thank you for being here,
different because the moral, spiritual, like the same people wouldn't get into heaven, right?
No,
because
no.
Okay, tell me.
What is your contention? I'm confused. You're saying that.
Yeah, I'm confused too, because we were talking about red pill and what a high value man is, and now we're having a religious, theological discussion with a bunch of people that don't know anything.
No, there's
about
not,
that.
because you have all these different denominations, and just like she said, if you're Catholic and you can get baptized as an infant, and that counts as your salvation.
So
or you can,
that's
just
what a high value man is.
And you go into heaven.
Someone who's had
let me explain to
salvation.
y'all. I think once again it's a misconception. I don't know if it's due to sort of like ignorance about the differences between denominations, things of that nature. A lot of the differences
that deserves an air horn.
We all view sin as sin. So everything Nick viewed.
Yeah, I gotta stop you right there, because literally the Catholics use a whole different translation of the Bible.
Yes.
They use different books.
Completely different. It's called the schism for a reason. They don't even know this.
It's true.
Much less the fact that this is not a conversation that belongs in the red pill space.
Don't interrupt me this time. Just try. The difference is simple.
Oh, there's Pearl getting bored.
No, they're just numbers.
Checking her Twitter.
Secondly,
responding to somebody.
Really? They split the one into two. Come on.
But if they use a whole different Bible.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
What's considered a sin amongst Catholics, because by the way, if you don't know, let me give you a history lesson. They use the Old Testament and the New Testament just like any Protestant or any other Christian, and it's the same books. They do have extra books that they view as canon.
It's a totally different belief
just
system.
Like the 7 deadly sins,
although it is
Proverbs
Christianity.
6 verse 16 and other things. So what they view as a sin, unless you could give me a difference on what's viewed as a sin between Catholics and between
literally the schism is caused by
prove that to me, and it would have the issue. The only
so many things, including what the views of sins were, and they were expanded under Protestantism.
Salvation is in the church, and
so
that would be a difference.
yeah.
But as far as what's considered wrong or what's considered right, is 99.9%.
This has become a religious discussion when it's folks talking about the red pill. So why should we be paying attention to this at all once we get down this route? Because this is what the high value man is. Underneath all of this bullshit, this is an ideologically religious idea that only allows in some that thinks this is about some spiritual battle. And if you don't remember, I have a short where Chase, a red pillar out here in the West Coast, who's also a preacher and essentially a white nationalist, talks about how his folk need to make more babies to fight against all the liberal communists because they're in a spiritual war. So he let slip, Bridget Moten, what's happening? What's going on? So much. Oh my God, there's Allie. Has Allie been in the corner the whole time, or did she just show up? Look at her. Can you imagine? Can you imagine Allie down in the corner right underneath the white nationalist and, the other white nationalists and the other white nationalists and then the Christian conservatives and the red pillar and the guy who only said one decent thing and then backed it up and then the homegirl down here who was like, yeah, but all women are retarded. Oh no, I just stopped.
In traditions.
Oh no.
It is.
Okay, wait. Before
welcome,
we
Bridget, by the way.
Definitely true.
What a stupid.
Okay, go ahead.
Facebook degree.
Before we even go into like the religion argument, because I'm not even trying to like put Catholics, Christian, all that stuff against each other. Like the point is, it's not consistent in the argument because it's like every single person has a different religion, and so it's like high value man's going to be different between every single person.
That's not true, though. I just proved it's not true.
Okay,
so every single person isn't going to have a different ideology. Pearl actually makes a slightly decent point, and it's wiped out immediately.
Pastors don't even agree on scripture.
Howard University.
But that's
what?
So here's the other weird thing. They're talking about scripture in amongst all of this red pill ideology. Why is this important to take note of? Because this, my friend, is what the red pill actually is. I've been saying this for a minute.
Glenn, I will pay you.
Lita Caproni says, I love how Ali thinks she's the smartest. Oh, Ali thinks she's the smartest person in the room on every panel she's in. LOL. And I think it's a spiritual battle, but they are on the wrong side. I agree, Emily. 100% wrong side for them.
It is because y'all are claiming.
No, I said that they were different. I never said they were wrong.
Bro, y'all are claiming because of this.
By the way, notice the guy in the middle dropped off. Oh, no, he moved up.
What's considered a high
Just
value
Rollo
man will
dropped
be
off.
different
No,
between
I'm
the
trying
two.
to say that
And
they're
I'm trying
not
to
even
prove y'all there's.
consistent. They're not consistent. They're not. They're
No,
not.
they
They're not
are
on the same page.
They are okay, Nick. Hey, Nick. Do you think a homosexual can be a high value man?
Hey, Nick. Hey, sir.
Okay, how about
sir.
a man
Sorry, that
that
was from last
supports
night.
abortion? Nope. How about a man that commits adultery?
Nope.
How
about a gluttonous man?
How about a gluttonous man? You think a gluttonous man? You said no? Okay, cool. Yeah, keep throwing them out. Show us the difference right now. Just prove it right now.
How about a
How about
racist
a man that prays
Can
to
a
Mary?
racist man be
How about a man
high value?
prays to Mary?
Hell yeah, brother.
Wow. Did you catch that?
No.
How about a
How about
racist
a man
man?
that prays
Can
to
a
Mary?
racist man be
How about a man
high value?
prays to Mary?
Hell yeah, brother.
No? Okay, cool. Yeah, keep throwing them out. Show us the difference right now. Just prove it right now.
How about a
How about
racist
a man
man?
that prays
Can
to
a
Mary?
racist man be
How about a man
high value?
prays to Mary?
Hell yeah, brother.
That is Fem Sapien, Emily. Yes, indeed.
No.
But she's Pearl's laughing.
No, don't.
At least Allie was smart enough to not smile.
Kick you out. I'm
There you
gonna.
have it.
He asked me.
All right, then. So do you believe
Don't
that,
do this to
Bryson?
me.
Hold on. Bryson, do you believe that a racist man can be a high value man? You laughing.
What's your definition of racist?
A person who.
Do you believe in
discriminates
race mixing?
against somebody
Do you believe in race
solely
mixing?
based off of their race?
Well, Nick disagrees with race mixing, but he's not gonna say it's unbiblical to race mix.
But he just said that you can be a high value man based off of the principles of the Bible, which he's defining as a high value man if you're racist. Do you agree
Hello and
with
welcome, by the way.
And what's your definition of racist? I'll tell you the truth.
Come on,
right now.
G.
Yes or no?
Bryson, do you believe in race mixing?
I don't care if you race mix.
You can
So,
bring it down.
and would you shame?
But
would
you see
shame
that these
somebody
topics
for
are
their
important
choice
to
in that?
them
Would you shame?
because they want to know how and who to include. But this really comes down to the ideology that somehow the baptized male is the high value man versus other people. So we're back to, again, religious-based xenophobia, religious-based hatred, religious-based ideologies that are pushing a whole other narrative that also includes white nationalism. Because look who's at the center of the panel. And look at whose panel it is. It's Pearl's panel, folks. It's Pearl's
Shame
panel.
them for their choice in that.
No, but can you skip to the end where you ask me if I think if somebody disagrees with race mixing, then they're not a Christian? Because I'm gonna say no.
The Oxford.
What is-
Hold on. You said if somebody is racist. Say that again. I'm sorry.
If I'm using Nick as the perfect example, Nick disagrees with race mixing, but Nick will tell you it's not because of the Bible, because the Bible doesn't condemn it. It does, but not in the way that we're thinking about it. So yes, he can still be a man of God, and I think
They
Sergio
love
was
to
trying to
use the
say
Bible.
being against race mixing is how you
To
define
allow them
racism, which is why I asked you what's your
commit,
definition of racism.
well,
because a lot of
psychological
people call
atrocity.
anything racist.
Well, I mean, I'm
race-
not trying to
being a
race
racist
bait.
loving thy neighbor.
Social
Being a ra-
atrocity?
Would you define being a racist loving thy neighbor?
No, you can't. If your
If
neighbor's black, and
if
you're
you
racist.
hate if you
I'm
hate
asking-
black if you hate black
Just a
people,
yes or no question.
To spread
Can you be
social
racist and
contagion?
love thy neighbor?
you also haven't defined racism. So I'm
This is
trying to
some
answer the
SJW.
question.
Okay,
Racist
here.
I bet you guys
is
are
in the
red
dictionary.
pill.
We don't need to
Oh, my
redefine
goodness.
racism. We already know what it is. It's in the dictionary. So according to the dictionary,
Right.
can you be a racist and love thy neighbor?
You cannot hate black people and love thy neighbor.
Yes.
Okay,
Now,
then-
finally,
No,
someone
no,
says
you
something
can't.
sensible.
Not be a racist and a high value man according
Oh,
to
but
you.
Pearl's got to stop it
love
because, oh God, don't let the
Me and
white
Nick are
nationalists
friends.
hear
We
you
were
say
texting in the
that we might
beginning
like
of this.
black
I
people.
don't care about you
Bruh, but he
guys.
just
I'm
said-
asking you in general.
If you hate black people, unless you're going to define racist for me, if you hate black people, you can't love thy neighbor.
Okay, so the Oxford Dictionary says racism is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in
Pearl, don't
a
do it.
particular
No,
racial
don't
or
ban
ethnic
Nick. Don't
group,
remove
typically one that
No,
is
no,
minority or marginalized. So
Damn.
we have a
She knew she was in
standard
trouble at
definition
that
of
point.
racism. Can you be a high value man and be a racist?
Repeat the definition one more time.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I have a show coming up, so I have to go. But thank you all for calling in. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Pearl.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Hey Nick, let's debate soon, bro.
you see that? When it came down to it, who are these black guys up there? I was hoping somebody could tell me. Because there's a couple questionables, some variables in here, including the gentleman to my right, the white guy with the hair, and this gentleman, the other gentleman across the way. These are unknowns. Yes, exactly. We should be aware that there are many others who would sell you all different voices embedded. She knows who they are. So we should be concerned, frankly. Because all of this comes back to, when it comes right down to it, this is all on the same day, essentially, as this.
Those messages top to bottom are you Weinsteining her. If you're a fresh and fit fan, I mean...
And I go into a bunch of things which I won't bore you out.
Sorry.
In the stereo, but you gotta evolve.
Here we go.
You gotta evolve.
This day.
Album Preach really are like woke as fuck.
Calling everybody who disagrees with you woke isn't an argument. It's the equivalent when
day
Hassan calls
where,
everyone a Nazi. It's just another cheap excuse to write people off because you can't actually disprove their point. They then try to high road us.
Everybody on our side, we are trying to improve. We are trying to get better. That's extremely important. It's extremely important to listen to people who are trying to motivate you or trying to give you an ounce of truth, because you do. And
you know, hospitality. You don't do that in that culture, guys.
Yeah. The only reason you guys invited Abba on in the first place is because he made a video on you guys. Why would he not be able to do that once he leaves the podcast? You guys act like he was your...
My tongue, the only reason that she wants it to be my tongue is that she wants a level of power.
They're going to be repeating Nick Fuentes.
This is what they believe.
People calling me because I've never had a girlfriend. I think if anything, it makes me less. If anything, it makes me not really being honest.
Oh, you hadn't heard this? Did you come in late to this?
Never having sex with a
We turned down the
woman
music.
really makes you more heterosexual, because honestly, dating women is gay. Having sex with women is gay. And having sex with men is gay. And you know, it's all gay. And if
It's
you
all
want to
gay
know the
to
truth, the only really straight
What is he doing in the
heterosexual
dating
position
sphere? What
to be
are any of them
asexual
doing in the
is-
dating sphere?
Byron, people will accept you. If you
Who
hate
are
women
these
so
people?
much, why not try and find a man
Why
that
do
will
they
love
have the ear of the nation?
You guys act like he was your lifelong friend.
Well, here's another thing too that y'all don't know. Support Caucasians. Can't do it.
But Nick doesn't just say that. He thinks black people on average have a lower IQ and should ideally separate from the United States.
I told Sneeko this. We call this race realism. Okay?
Yes,
We
he is,
say that
Kakai.
Race
And-
is real. Like it's
Kakaki
not fake.
exactly,
It's
he's
not
a
skin
race
deep.
baiter.
Race is real. There are different races, and
He's
there's
a race
meaningful
baiter, and
differences.
he,
and one of the things is that on
He's
average,
at the
the
root
races have
and
different
of association
IQs.
in the
And so on
management
average,
system
Asians
behind
have the
all of
highest
these
IQ,
other
and
performers.
on average,
Fresh
blacks
and
have
fit.
the lowest IQ.
Sneeko.
And that's why I told Sneeko.
Abba.
And no, that's
Jadion.
average. Okay, it's not. I'm not saying black people are dumb. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that when you
You're kinda
average it
saying
out.
that. You're kind of saying that.
I'm not. I'm saying on average. Well, I'm saying on average. On average, there's differences between the IQs. So I believe there are black geniuses like Kanye West. I think he's a black genius. But there's fewer black geniuses than there are Asian geniuses. As an example. What would happen if you
And
I
Alba
were living
agrees with
right
him.
now?
Who are these
That's
other
the
people?
kind
Oh,
of
and there's
concept. When you and I are on a
Destiny.
Discord call, we're sort of
Look at
strangers and we're
Destiny.
talking about ideas. That's great. But what if we're living in
Listening
the
and
same
not
house and there's a
disagreeing.
fight over
Not
who gets to
interjecting.
shower when? And
At least
who gets to
Jadion
sit
is
on the
bothered,
couch?
kind of.
These are the kinds of things that happen in a dense.
Wait, Emily says at 18 she married a black man and had her daughter by 19. I have seen racial hatred from individuals in several communities. I as well. Although I've never myself had a child. I dated a woman who had a mixed son, and we lived in Pennsylvania at the time, and we got hate from everybody. It wasn't mine. People would hiss and say all kinds of crazy. This is a very real thing. Folks will hate just to hate. And if they think that you're bringing in somebody that they don't like into the world, they'll look at you straight in your face, and tell you it's insane. Fresh and fit are super clowns. Yes, absolutely. You mean Fuddle and Duddle? Yes, Fuddle and Duddle. Because that's dude's last name. Fuddle. Fuddle and Duddle. So let's take note of these folks. Yeah, Destiny is a blue-haired clown. Very much I agree with that. That's my opinion. of course, but I'm going to be bringing to the table all of the things about Destiny that are really we should be concerned about. Because this is a person who doesn't just abuse the platform and use it in ways that it's just not supposed to be used as, but he's turned it on its head, essentially, in his little corner. Lita says, my boyfriend is biracial, and he says that both of his parents' family disowned them. There you go. The world is not a very kind place all the time for people who may be just slightly different. And these folks are making it worse. And by the way, first generation Canadian from Ethiopia over there taking part in Gideon. You don't know who these people are. That's Abba of Abba and Preach. I don't know who this is, but I know who this is. It's one of the biggest YouTubers out there. One of the biggest streamers.
Black over that? I can fight about stuff like that. And
whoa. I want to hear the answer to Destiny's question.
well, yeah. Would you fight more with a black person over who gets to use the shower?
Yes. And here's why. Because
he thinks race mixing is degenerate, just like
exactly. We do fight our family first, Emily.
You said that Nick is a white supremacist. I'm curious to like what he said specifically that makes you think that.
Well, I did hear leaked audio of you comparing a white woman having sex with a dog to having sex with a black man, and saying that it was basically the same level of degeneracy. And that was like leaked audio, so I felt like that was kind of telling about what you might say behind the scenes.
Yeah, and
maybe that was a joke.
Well, no. I mean, I'm going to explain this. These are all things that I would consider.
That's why I bring it to light. We need to know who spend time with these folks on stream, giggling it up, having a good time. If you don't have a look on your face like I do, and you're ticked about it, you're trying to get to direct questions, or you try to challenge them, or push back on people like him, or Sneeko, or even Adam22. Because they share the same management, by the way. At Lita. Oh, his girl is white and Puerto Rican. Yes. I think we are all starting to face a larger issue with this because the world is becoming a more mixed place in general. Because we all know that healthier children come from intermingling. It's just proof. There's just so much proof scientifically to show that we're all better by becoming more human amongst one another and not giving a damn about all that other stuff. Because it's just ideas. They're just fucking ideas. And they're visceral ones at best. I'm going to finish this off.
Yeah, but
Nico just hops on board.
These aren't just jokes. This is his ideology. This isn't just about him wanting to marry a white Catholic or supporting a white business.
No. It's not just about that. It's actually really more about...
But the thought of, like, me and my pet monkey and my wife taking care of us and also...
This being at the root
now that's a winner.
of the associations between all of these people in the red pill community and how they're all willing to giggle and laugh it up with this guy because they all make a bag off the same community.
Later on. And then
that incel, white nationalist, easy to stoke the fire of fear-driven folk who are religiously minded, puritanical, and absolutely waiting for the end of the world as their answer to get rid of their bad behavior and thoughts of others. Their fear of everyone wants them to end the world, folks. And some of these people are in policy-making positions.
But you know, we all take turns.
They aren't all freaks like him, wanting for monkeys.
We're gonna clean this up.
Yes, and we are watching the last vestige of these folks scream and cry and get shoved down the well. And some of them are being taken advantage of by folks who have other agendas, alternate agendas, that don't have the well-being of the populace in mind.
The wife comes in, hey, how many times do I gotta say? And then I riz her up and then I have sex with her. No, that's a joke. Then I riz her up.
Yeah, it's a joke because you've never had sex. You don't even know what that's about. Apparently, he's proud to not masturbate. Sneeko almost had me cheering for him when he pushed back against the red pill community. And then he went and started acting like a white supremacist. Yes, exactly. And this is the point I really need to make. These folks are playing a LARP, a live action role-playing game. And I am warning the audience right now that just like how I am performative, they are playing characters that are just built around their reality. And they're playing it up because they don't believe in this shit. They just want the dollar and they know who's watching. And they've all agreed to script with each other this behavior. And this behavior is the same kind of behavior that causes things like Rwandan genocide, fascism, fear state, civil war. I'm not trying to sell you a fear point. I'm just trying to tell you what this stuff does historically. And it's fucked up. And we need to know that it's fucked up so we can stop it before it happens. How do we stop this? We spread the word that we're not going to take it. And that there's alternatives. There's other answers. And just like how I've been sharing the alternative to this stuff.
The skincare routine.
Oh, sorry, not the skin routine.
Money on designer clothes, but doesn't have a savings account or a 401k. Be responsible with your money and set yourself up for your future. This doesn't mean that you have to be cheap or not get anything that you want in life. If you make money, you should enjoy it, but also think about your future. Think about things long term instead of from this instant gratification, temporary pleasure standpoint. Also, a little bonus truth for you for this one that ties in pretty well here is that if you don't appreciate what you have, you'll never be happy. It will never be enough. You'll just constantly be striving and working towards the next thing, which can be helpful in ways to make sure that you're
and instead of leaving you with the monkey,
achieving things in your life, but also
monkey boy,
requires gratitude and being thankful for what you
I'm gonna leave you.
There are so many people who just constantly want the next best thing
with Courtney
and
Ryan.
Disregard everything they have. That so many
the positive
people don't have,
potpourri
and would be
scent in the
So
room.
appreciate what you have, or you'll never be happy. It will never be enough.
By the way, if you
there
have
are rich people in the world who have everything you could ever imagine. They
anybody
drive the
else
nicest
that you
cars,
know who
they have
gives
the
good
nicest
advice
houses, they
in your
have
pocket
wonderful clothes
to
and
those who
all these things, and they're still depressed.
might miss
What does that tell you? My next one is that not everyone is going to like
out on
you,
this
and that is
information.
okay. And
Not
the
everyone
sooner
will
you
like
realize
you.
This, the happier you will be.
And that's okay.
Take it from me. Trying to get everyone to like you is flat out exhausting and also just impossible. You are not for everyone, and that is okay. And coming from a woman's perspective here, giving you advice on this topic, not every woman that you go on a date with is going to like you or be compatible with you.
This is the
and
truth.
that is also okay. And if you
Male,
go into dating
female, or
constantly
otherwise.
thinking, I have to get this girl to like me, or going in with this desperation or scarcity.
Emily,
mindset,
I'm sorry, Lita says,
you're gonna be disappointed.
Sneeko is a great example of what it
Because
is
the
to be
reality is that
raised
you
by
should
the
be
internet.
focusing on, do
He
I
acts
even like
fatherless
her?
because he
Let
is
me get
fatherless.
to know her and figure out if I like her before I even think about I have to get her to like me. She's my only option. Really important mindset to have. My next one, maybe the toughest one on the list for a lot of you. I'm including this because it is a comment, a question, a concern that I get probably the most out of everything, or one of the most out of anything. That is, you cannot change your height, and you have to accept that.
I mean, unless you get that
And
surgery,
I know
but don't
this
do
is a
that.
sore subject
Because then
for
you
a
can
lot
never
of
run
you,
again.
Understandably, because of all the videos of women saying they'll only date men who are over 6 feet, and they would never date a short guy. You know, not giving any love to the short kings out there, but the reality is that there are girls who are like that.
Yep.
It's just the way it is. We have to accept that.
Yep.
There are also
Life,
so
and that's
many
everybody.
girls
Because
who
we
are
all
not
have our likes and dislikes.
who are not
And this is
going
being used against folks.
who are not in a street interview that you saw on TikTok, who do not give a crap about your height.
Exactly.
They don't care if you're 5'5",
There's people out
they
there
don't care if you're 6'5".
that love for love, that care for care, that are empathetic, they're just looking for another human just like them. Hey, I gave her a decent freeze. All right. I think we can go to the corner, shall we? Hold on a second. Let me get on over there. Come on over. Hey. What's going on, folks? So, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow if you're watching on the other channels. The truth hurts. And that's why some people lie a lot. That's truth. The truth hurts. People lie. People do more than that. People would just avoid interaction if they can. They'll avoid taking part if they can, because it's safer, I'm told. But what do we learn? Well, first off, we learned that the red pill community has an agenda that they don't want most people to be aware of, and they have freely chosen Pearly Things as one of their leaders, essentially. That they will freely treat her has somebody where they can gather around. And it's not what you would think. It's a white nationalist society, a supremacist society that cares about disenfranchising everyone based off of a religiosity at its root that they don't want most people to realize is there. My pleasure, Emily. My pleasure. Speaking of which, what else we learned? Well, we saw Gekage, we saw GC Aki TV, and we saw Emily, and we saw Lita Caproni, and we saw, oh my goodness, we saw Bridget Moon, and let's see, who else do we see that I'm probably forgetting? Oh, so many people, and I appreciate every single one of you that's been here today, because I think we all take something away from this, and it's not just a bunch of hoo-ha. It's the idea that together we can do something about this by examining it and spreading a counter message that's good for people, because things can be good for you, not just good for you. Does that make sense? Probably not. What else did we learn? Well, we learned that there's a lot of bigotry allowed within this group, and they all think it's funny. They think it's humorous, something to giggle about. What else we learned? Well, we learned that Pearl knows very little about most things, and she'll just contradict her general behaviors and beliefs, specifically that a high-value man is somebody who brings money to the table. Now we know that she doesn't even believe that. What else we learned? That, oh yeah, if you go on Pearl's panel, it's janky. What else? Oh yeah, that the red pill is taking advice from folks who don't even take their own advice or know anything about dating, because they're thinking about the Bible. They compared their reasoning to a complex sentiment of wondering whether or not Saul from the Bible, as in Saul and Paul, was a high-value man who could be dated or dateable. Those are the people who are driving the logic of the red pill. I think that's enough. Oh yeah, and this. I lied. Of course I'm gonna leave you with the monkey.
But the thought of like me
Of course I'm
and
gonna
my
leave you. Let's
pet
get back out
monkey
there. Come on.
And my wife taking care of us, and also I get to have sex with her. Now
And
that's
also
a
he
winner.
gets to
like,
have
that's
sex
a winner,
with her.
winner chicken dinner. It's like I get a caretaker.
And no
and I get a monkey,
yeah, what's happening?
And occasionally
All
I'll
right.
have sex with my wife.
Occasionally
and
he'll
then
have sex
probably
with his
kids
wife.
later
These
on.
are the people
and
that
then me
folks are taking dating
and my
advice from.
sons and my monkey will all.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it right there. Thank you so much, folks. All I can ask is that you carry these things in your day, that you know about this, that we spread the knowledge of self-help in a positive manner without telling people that they can't be more than they are, because they are, and everybody has validity, and every single one of us has a tool that makes them awesome somewhere in them. They just maybe haven't found it, or maybe they're surrounded by folks who treat goldfish like they should climb trees, which makes a goldfish an idiot immediately. But that's what happens when you take a goldfish out of the water and put it in a tree. And really, who's the idiot there? Yeah. At the end of the day, really, folks, all I can ask is that you take this with you, and that we fight the obelisk and pull ourselves out of its prison that we make for ourselves. Kick that thing to the curb when it comes crashing down. And frankly, I think it's about time. Because these folks are taking advantage of all that prison usage, all that instability among society. And we're going to see them do more than that soon, I'm sure. They want a vacuum. And a monkey, apparently. So let's not let them have that. And by way of doing that, there's really only one thing I can ask of you. There's really only one thing that any of us can ask of each other. And I think we all know what that is. At the end of the day, folks, just make sure you remind people that when they're walking in someplace and they don't know what's going on and they aren't fully aware, it's our duty as friends, as neighbors. Well, you know. You gotta say it. Something, right? You gotta be able to turn to your friends and family. You gotta be able to turn to folks and just be based, actually based. And maybe even without warning. You gotta be able to stand up and say, "Look out!" Oh, yeah, folks. Thanks so much. I'm so glad you could be here. It's a big day. Gonna start heading into the Destinyverse next week and going down that trail, and that's a whole other thing because that's informing a lot of kids. So thank you so much for being here. Yep, the incels don't have wives. In the case of Nick, he wants a monkey. And that's a scary thing. Especially when they're all associated. They're all associated. Both in business and in the background personally. So let's not take that lightly. Thank you so much for being here, folks. I hope this carries into your day. I hope you got something out of it. And most importantly, I hope that you help others. Because it's all we can do is ask them to look up. Have a great weekend. Don't forget, Ministry of the Flying Pig on Sunday, 3 p.m., where we forget all this shit and try to take it somewhere fun. Learn something. And this is Dreams Part 2 this week. Dreams are real. Have a great evening. And I believe Mike TV is live right now, so peace out, y'all. Hope you have a great day.